In Hong Kong's television history, Wireless Television Limited and Asia Television Limited had a total of 3 sets of the most successful foreign TV series. The first set was the Clear Sky series bought by the Wireless Television Limited from Taiwan in the early 1990s, and the second set was the returning Pearl Gage series bought by the Asia Television Limited. The second set was the Today and Today series bought by the Wireless Television Limited. These 3 sets of TV series set off a storm in the entire Hong Kong when they were broadcasted by the Wireless Television Limited and the Asia Television Limited. In his previous life, the Asia Television Limited had created a wave of Little Swallow in Hong Kong with Returning Pearl to Gage. Even the actor who played Mama Rong in the series was warmly welcomed in Hong Kong. At that time, Zhou Hao was busy with his studies and did not have the time to watch Pearl Returning Gage. Even though he had not seen it before, he knew how big of a sensation it had caused in Asia with the original work of Cheung Yao and the television series from Hunan. Therefore, in the empty space where the old series of Asia Television Limited was about to end and the new series had yet to be completed, Zhou Hao planned to buy Pearl Returning Gage to deal with it. My people have already discussed the broadcasting rights of this television series with Huanan Television Station in China. Zhou Hao said, "I want this TV series to be broadcasted at the golden hour. You don't have to doubt its quality. I believe it will help our Asia Television Limited to push the viewership ratings to the peak." Since Zhou Hao had already decided, Liang Jiashu, Xian Jiwei, and the others had no objections. After Zhou Hao took over the Asia Television Limited, he came up with many new plans. He was decisive and quick with his methods. He had the style of a great general. However, these new plans. This was the first time Xian Jiwei and the others had tried these new ideas, so they couldn't help but feel nervous. However, they were people who were full of energy and used it to challenge others, so they naturally wouldn't succumb to difficulties. All right, that's it. It's getting late. Everyone, let's go back first. We'll work hard tomorrow. Zhou Hao smiled and said, "Brother Shi, didn't you just say you want to call Miss? That's fine too. Anyway, the company is responsible for this. You can enjoy it to your heart's content." "Really? Then I won't be polite." Li Zhaoxi burst into laughter. Most of the other people had a family, so Zhou Hao naturally wouldn't do such a thing. Therefore, they all returned home very soon, allowing Li Zhaoxi to fulfill his wish. He called several young ladies in the private room all night. After returning to the villa, Situ Jianying and Wang Shijuan were already asleep. Su Lin did not return to her own room and directly followed Zhou Hao to the owner's room on the 3rd floor. After entering the room, Zhou Hao leaned over and laid on the bed and sighed. So tired. It was not that his body was tired. With his current skill, even if he ran for 10 days and 10 nights continuously, he would not feel tired. It was just that during this period of time, he had been busy with the matters of North Pole Star and the Asia Television Limited. He was busier than when he was preparing for the financial storm in Asia, so he felt a little tired. Su Lin took off her coat and skirt, climbed onto the bed, and sat on Zhou Hao's butt. She rubbed his shoulders with her jade-like hands. "During this period of time, you have been busy with the matters of the television station. Now that the Asia Television Limited has officially merged with the North Pole Star, you can also take a good rest. It has been hard on you. Although you are nominally the general manager of the broadcasting department, I have already instructed them that you can decide the matters of the Asia Television Limited with full authority. In the future, the Asia Television Limited will have to trouble you," Zhou Hao said while lying on the bed. Su Lin leaned over and whispered into Zhou Hao's ear. "That's good. Anyway, I want to try to grasp the future and destiny of a celebrity. But why do I feel like I am so similar to Fang Yihua?" Fang Yihua was Xiao Yifu's wife. She had been helping Xiao Yifu manage the affairs of Wireless Television Limited for many years. Don't oppress the employees like Fang Yihua. As the saying goes, when things reach the extreme, they will turn against each other. Zhou Hao reminded. "I know. Do you think I am really that kind of mean woman?" Su Lin leaned on Zhou Hao's back. "Don't worry. Asia Television Limited is your business. I will take care of it for you." Feeling Su Lin's soft chest pressing against his back, Zhou Hao also had an impulse in his heart. He suddenly turned around and pressed Su Lin under his body, kissing her fair neck. "Su Lin, I have been busy with the matters of Asia Television Limited these days. I haven't been intimate with you for a long time. Come, let's enjoy tonight." Su Lin rolled her eyes at him. "You just didn't get intimate with me. Don't think I don't know that you and Jian Ying often hang around in the study room. A few days ago, I even found Jian Ying's underwear under the desk." Hearing Su Lin say this, Zhou Hao was also very guilty. Su Lin also said, "Luckily Shijuan did not discover it. Otherwise, I will see how you explain it." After this period of time, Su Lin and Wang Shijuan had established a very deep relationship. Su Lin also liked the pure and kind Wang Shijuan very much. She completely treated her as her younger sister and did not want her to be hurt. Actually, I have to tell Shijuan about these things sooner or later. If I hide it from her like this, I will also feel uncomfortable in my heart. Zhou Hao said, it's just that I'm afraid she won't be able to accept it at the moment. So I didn't tell her for a long time. You men are all fickle. Let me tell you, if you make Shijuan cry, I won't let you go either. Su Lin pinched Zhou Hao's nose and said, I know. Zhou Hao's hand reached into Su Lin's shirt. A midnight snack is worth 1,000 gold coins. Let's not waste time. After saying that, he took off his clothes. Su Lin pouted. Aya, I still have to work tomorrow. Don't torment me. Although she said so, once Zhou Hao kissed her lips, she quickly softened. Very soon, Su Lin's alluring voice sounded in the room, and it did not subside for a long time. The next day, all the entertainment newspapers in Hong Kong released a piece of news. It was that the supervisor of Wireless Television Limited, Liang Jiashu, suddenly resigned and left Wireless Television Limited on the same day. The one who submitted the resignation letter with him. There was also another supervisor, Su Yuan, as well as more than 30 people who were behind the scenes. Gu Tianle, Luo Jiaoyang, Ma Huwei, Xin Xian, and the other top artistes, as well as more than a dozen second-rate and third-rate artistes, announced at the same time that they would not renew their contract with the Wireless Television Limited. Even the few artiste instructors, led by Mai Chiu, also announced that they would leave the Wireless Television Limited. After this news was reported, the entire Hong Kong was in an uproar. What happened next was even more shocking. After Liang Jiashu, Su Yuan, and the others left the Wireless Television Limited, they immediately went to the office building of the Asia Television Limited and announced that they would be the director of the Asia Television Limited's drama production department and the supervisor of the drama production department. Luo Jiaoyang and the other artistes also signed contracts with the Asia Television Limited and officially became one of the artistes under the Asia Television Limited. Moreover, the contract had a minimum of 5 years. As for Gu Tianle, he had signed another contract with North Pole Star because Zhou Hao knew that not only could he develop well in television dramas, but he also had great talent in the field of movies. North Pole Star had also set up a branch in Hong Kong. Apart from supervising the operation of Asia Television Limited, it was also responsible for the development of artistes in other areas of television dramas. After Liang Jiashu, Gu Tianle, and the others became members of Asia Television Limited, Su Lin announced to the media in Hong Kong as the spokesperson of Asia Television Limited. From today onwards, the Asia Television Limited would only take 30% of the commission from advertising and commercial activities of the artistes under their banner. They would also give out 20% of the reward to the employees of the Asia Television Limited every month. This series of explosive news shocked everyone in Hong Kong. The townsfolk were all shocked by the big move of the Asia Television Limited. When the people in the industry heard that the Asia Television Limited only took 30% of the commission from the artistes, they were all speechless. They knew the rules of this industry. If they took on advertisements and other services, they might not even get 30% of the money in the end. After that, Fang Yihua from the Wireless Television Limited criticized Liang Jiashu and the other people who had left the wireless world for being ungrateful. She also publicly criticized that the boss of the North Pole Star, who had just taken over the Asia Television Limited, was not a gentleman. It was no wonder that Fang Yihua, who always kept a low profile, would be so angry this time. Because in this incident, the Asia Television Limited had poached 1/5 of the resources from the people behind the wireless platform, especially the mentors of the artist training classes, which were equivalent to the production equipment of the factory. This dealt a huge blow to the Wireless Television Limited. Su Lin calmly expressed to Fang Yihua's words that the flow of talents was a common occurrence in every company. There was nothing to be surprised about. Since Liang Jiashu and the rest had left the wireless and transferred to Asia Television Limited, it meant that wireless must have some ways to make them unhappy. Asia Television Limited must have some things that attracted them. In the end, Su Lin also called for wireless to treat the artistes under her banner well. The last sentence was aimed at the weakness of wireless. Even some of the artistes on the wireless could not help but cheer for Su Lin's words. The media in Hong Kong was very interested in Su Lin, the new general manager of Asia Television Limited's broadcasting department. On the one hand, the Polar North company behind her was very mysterious. On the other hand, Su Lin's beauty and temperament were not inferior to any of the female celebrities in Hong Kong. To the media, she was extremely valuable. While the commotion between Asia Television Limited and wireless had caused a stir in the entertainment industry, Zhou Hao met with a true heavenly emperor superstar in a certain high-end restaurant, Lu Dehua. Lu Dehua's status in the Chinese world was incomparable. He was a true heavenly emperor superstar, and over the years, from the original idols to today's solidarity stars, he had made remarkable achievements in music and film. In Zhou Hao's previous life, Lu Dehua had concealed the storm of marriage. Zhou Hao also felt that it was reasonable. Although there were mistakes, the flaws did not hide the truth. At this time, Lu Dehua was much younger than Zhou Hao in his previous life. After all, he was only in his 30s. In the private room, only Zhou Hao and Lu Dehua sat face to face on both sides of the table. Lu Dehua carefully sized up this handsome young man in front of him, curiously guessing his identity. Because today he originally had a shooting date. However, he suddenly received an invitation, and the one who invited him was actually Xiang Huaqiang's younger brother, Shang Huafeng. Lu Dehua naturally knew about Xian Yan's influence in Hong Kong, especially Xian Yan's control over the entertainment industry. If one wasn't in the industry, they wouldn't be able to see it for themselves. Thus, Lu Dehua immediately rejected today's date. Huasheng hurriedly followed along and came here. He saw this young man called Zhou Hao in front of him. When he first saw him, Zhou Hao's eyes revealed some surprise and admiration. There was also a trace of admiration, similar to those fans of his. But soon, he calmed down. There was only a little appreciation in his eyes, as if he was looking at an ordinary person. "Thank you very much, Mr. Lu, for coming out of your busy schedule to see me," Zhou Hao said to Lu Dehua with a smile. Zhou Hao did not call Lu Dehua Huazai like Hong Kong people did. This made Lu Dehua feel that his relationship with him was not that of a fan or idol or friends, but more like business partners. Since it was Shang Huasheng who personally brought him here to meet this Zhou Hao, Lu Dehua thought that this Zhou Hao was definitely not an ordinary person. So he smiled and said, No, Mr. Zhou, you are young and capable. It is my honor to meet you." Zhou Hao shook his head and smiled. "I think Mr. Lu doesn't know me before this. How would you know that I am young and capable?" Lu Dehua didn't expect Zhou Hao to be so straightforward. He was stunned for a moment and smiled awkwardly. "Mr. Zhou, you're saying this too much. I just want to have a good talk with you, Mr. Lu." Zhou Hao smiled and said, "Mr. Lu, I know you have not signed a contract with any management company. To a certain extent, you are a free man." Lu Dehua immediately frowned when he heard that. Zhou Hao's words indicated that he wanted to recruit him. However, Lu Dehua had enough of the management company's exploitation. That was why he became independent. In the past few years, he built Skyscreen to not be restricted. However, Skyscreen still ended badly in the end. Seeing Lu Dehua frown, Zhou Hao was not in a hurry either. He still smiled and said, "I know Mr. Lu doesn't like to be bound by restrictions, but you should understand. If you are alone, it is very difficult to achieve anything. You need a powerful company to support you. Furthermore, after joining my company, I can guarantee that no one in Hong Kong's underworld will dare to threaten you to film a crappy movie." Lu Dehua looked at Zhou Hao with a surprised look. If he could say that, it meant that Zhou Hao had the power to compete with the entire Hong Kong underworld. This inevitably made Lu Dehua curious. Zhou Hao then said to him, "Besides, Mr. Lu, I know that you are very interested in the Best Male Lead Award for the Hong Kong Golden Statue Awards. You have made so many movies, but not a single one of them can help you realize your dream of becoming a movie king. Mr. Lu, I can help you." "How can you help me?" When Lu Dehua saw the confident smile on Zhou Hao's face, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. "You can't be thinking of bribing the judges, right? That won't do. If that's the case, I'd rather not have this award." "Of course not." Zhou Hao smiled and said, "There's no point in doing this kind of thing. I want you to sit on the best actor seat in an upright manner. I have already customized a scene for you. You can look at the script now." After saying that, he took out a script and handed it to Lu Dehua. Lu Dehua took it and flipped through it. Dark War? This was the movie Dark Battle that Lu Dehua had won for the Best Male Lead of the Golden Image Award in his previous life. However, Dark Battle had only been released in 1999, and Zhou Hao had written it in advance according to his own memories. Of course, Zhou Hao was not a professional writer, so this script was only the first draft. It still needed a professional to make up for it. After reading the gist of the story, Lu Dehua also looked happy because he could see that the script was very interesting and that every character had a lot of tension. He asked Zhou Hao, "Which role do you want me to play for the jewelry thief and the police?" Zhou Hao smiled. "Which one do you want to play?" Lu Dehua hesitated for a moment and said, "I want to play the role of the thief, because this role is more challenging." Zhou Hao nodded. "As for that policeman, I will find Lu Qingyun to play the role." "Qingyun?" Lu Dehua said in surprise. but he is now the person of the Silver River Reflection. I'm afraid Boss Du won't let him go. The Boss Du he was talking about was Du Chifeng, because the Milky Way film production company was created by Du Chifeng last year. However, Zhou Hao's smile did not change. Not to mention Lu Qingyun, even Du Chifeng has already agreed to be the director of my movie. What? Lu Dehua was also very shocked when he heard that. Because he had a lot of cooperation with Du Chifeng, he knew Du Chifeng's temperament very well. Although the script of Dark War was very good, Du Chifeng might not be willing to lower himself to agree to Zhou Hao. He heard Zhou Hao laugh and say, because the entire Milky Way image was purchased by me the day before yesterday, but it has not been made public yet. What? Lu Dehua stood up in shock and looked at Zhou Hao in disbelief. Because of the passionate creation of Milky Way illustration by Du Chifeng, he regarded it as the crystallization of his hard work. It also attracted Wei Jiehui and Yu Daji to form an iron triangle, with great ambition to establish a film kingdom in Hong Kong. Why was it suddenly bought over by Zhou Hao? It turned out that although the Milky Way image was created by Du Chifeng, there was still a very strong underworld figure behind it, which was the Xian family of Xian. Xiang Huaqiang was the final master behind the Milky Way image. At that time, after Zhou Hao decided to buy Milky Way illustration, he didn't go to Du Chifeng, but directly went to find Xiang Huaqiang. When Xiang Huaqiang heard that Zhou Hao wanted to buy the Silver River Reflection, he immediately gave it to Zhou Hao for free. Because compared to trying to win Zhou Hao over, to Xiang Huaqiang, the galaxy image was too insignificant. After all, although Xian had a lot of business in Hong Kong's entertainment industry, this was only a small part of their business. Xiang Huaqiang had always regarded the movie companies under his banner as money laundering tools. Not to mention Galaxy Image. If Zhou Hao spoke, even the Yongsheng Film Company, which Xiang Huaqiang poured the most effort into, he could also give it to Zhou Hao without even furrowing his brows. Zhou Hao naturally did not ask for it for nothing. He gave Xiang Huaqiang 50 million Hong Kong dollars, meaning to officially include the Milky Way pictures under his banner. In addition, Zhou Hao also used 20 million Hong Kong dollars to buy a record-making company under Xiang Huaqiang. With such a great seize, the framework of Zhou Hao's Polar North Star in the three aspects of music and film could be considered to have been built up. Moreover, this was only in Hong Kong. The construction of the Northern Pole Star in the country was also being carried out enthusiastically. However, it was the same as Zhou Hao's acquisition strategy in Hong Kong. Zhou Hao did not want to waste his time and energy to start from the brick to the tile. Instead, he directly used the ready-made resources as the puzzle of the North Pole Star. Take the Hongdian Film and Television City as an example. The Northern Pole Star had 40% of the shares. It was equivalent to owning the largest filming base in all of China, and the movies and TV series that he would produce in the future. He didn't even need to rent a place for others. At this moment, other than purchasing the Asia Television Limited, the Silver River Pictures, and the record companies in Hong Kong, Polar Star was also conducting negotiations with the Hua E Brothers Media Group, which had just been established in 1994. The current Hua E Brothers Media Group was only in the early stages of its establishment. Its achievements and reputation were far from being as great as Zhou Hao's in his previous life. Moreover, it had not been listed on the market yet, so it was much easier to purchase it. At this moment, Lu Dehua opposite him had also slowly calmed down. However, the gaze he looked at Zhou Hao with no longer had any contempt. Instead, there was a faint trace of fear in his eyes. Someone who could silently take the Milky Way image away. It was definitely not an ordinary person. Lu Dehua probed, Mr. Zhou, may I ask, what's your company's name? Zhou Hao picked up the Sprite in front of him and took a sip, then said with a smile, it's called Sprite. My company, Mr. Lu, you should have heard of it before. It's called Polar Star Media and Television Company. Your company is that Polar Star? That company acquired the Asia Television Limited's Polar North Star some time ago? That's right. Zhou Hao smiled and nodded. Lu Dehua clicked his tongue in wonder. I really didn't expect that you would actually be the boss behind the scenes of the Northern Pole Star, which caused so much trouble in the entertainment industry. Do you know that? Now, the media is already speculating whether Polar North Star was secretly created by Li Jiqing or Li Zhaoji, those top tycoons. They even say that these real estate tycoons are also interested in meddling in the media industry. Actually, the reason why Lu Dehua said that was to test whether Zhou Hao had anything to do with top Hong Kong tycoons like Li Jiqing and Li Zhaoji, because he had quietly bought over the Asia Television Limited and the Silver River Illustration. To be able to make such a huge investment, it was obviously not something an ordinary tycoon could do, especially since the Silver River Illustration was Xiang Huaqiang's exclusive property. Even if it was someone like Li Jiqing or Li Zhaoji, Xiang Huaqiang might not give them face. Zhou Hao waved his hand and said, "These two, Mr. Li, I would like to meet them. It's just that I have never had the chance to meet them." He said to Lu Dehua, "I am just a businessman who came from China to Hong Kong to invest." Since Zhou Hao did not want to say more about his identity, Lu Dehua tactfully did not continue to ask. After all, he would have to work under Zhou Hao in the future. If Zhou Hao did not like it, it would not do him any good. So he naturally changed the topic. "Mr. Zhou, it should be your idea for Asia Television Limited to announce that they will only charge 30% of the income of the artistes under their banner. Hehe, Mr. Zhou is really benefiting our artistes." He took a sip of the beer and looked a little emotional. "I remember when I was a little kid on Wi-Fi, not to mention when I just started being a passerby, even when I became one of the 5 Tiger Generals, my monthly salary wasn't fixed. If I went out to get a job, more than 70% of the money had to be handed over to the wireless company. In the end, I didn't have much money left." Zhou Hao also knew about the grudge between Lu Dehua and Wireless, so he said, "It's because I can't stand the overbearing manner of the Wireless Television Limited that I want to defeat them. Everyone says that Wi-Fi is a spacecraft carrier that doesn't sink. I just have to sink it in front of everyone." Sensing the confidence from Zhou Hao, Lu Dehua was also infected. He raised his wine glass to Zhou Hao and said, "All right, I also want to see Xiao Yifu's expression when he saw the wireless being destroyed." Their glasses touched lightly in the air, and their goals were the same at this moment. Lu Dehua did not ask how much money Zhou Hao would get for the next movie, Dark War. He felt that since Zhou Hao could give special treatment to the artistes under Asia Television Limited, he would not treat him badly. If he really asked, it would make him seem like he was a Philistine. On the other side, Wang Shijuan and Situ Jianying were also touring the Asia Television Limited's building. They were brought by Su Lin, and now everyone in the Asia Television Limited knew that Su Lin was the new general manager of the broadcasting department. It could be said that she was above everyone else, and no one dared to offend her. Instead, they had to fawn over her. Therefore, the people in the television station naturally had to be careful with Wang Shijuan and Situ Jianying, these two visitors. They would go wherever they wanted to visit. If the people in the television station knew that these two lovely girls were actually Zhou Hao's big boss's women, they would be even more fearful and fearful. However, in order to have more people to talk about, Zhou Hao's identity as the owner of the Asia Television Limited and even the North Pole Star was only known to Xian Jiwei, Chen Shisan, and Liang Jiashu. After visiting the various scenes of the Asia Television Limited, Wang Shijuan said to Situ Jianying with a face full of joy, "I only found out today. It turns out that this is how all television dramas are filmed. Look at the elevator in those houses. It turns out that they are all fake. In the past, when I watched television, I thought they really went to other people's houses to film." Situ Jianying also nodded. "Hehe, this is also my first time coming to the television station." "Huh, isn't that Gu Tianla and Xian Xian? Let's quickly go and get their autographs." After saying that, she pulled Wang Shijuan towards Gu Tianla, Xian Xian, and a few other artistes from the Wireless Television Limited. At this moment, Gu Tianla was chatting with Xian Xian, Luo Jiaoyang, and a few others. He said, "AI, no wonder the Asia Television Limited couldn't beat Wi-Fi for so many years. Look at their environment. Even the dressing room is much smaller than Wi-Fi. What are you afraid of?" Luo Jiaoyang smiled at Gu Tianla and said, "You signed a contract with North Pole Star. I think they want you to develop into the film industry. You will be a star on the big screen from now on." Hearing Luo Jiaoyang's words of envy, Gu Tianla also felt some joy in his heart. This was because he was indeed different from Luo Jiaoyang and the others, and directly signed a contract with Polar North Star. Moreover, he originally knew the manager that North Pole Star had given him. He was a very open-minded person in the circle, and he had a very good relationship with the major clubs. He had some big stars in his hands, and he had even been the manager of Zhang Shueyo, Lu Dehua, and the others in the past. The agent had told Gu Tianla that North Pole Star was very powerful. Although it was not very famous now, it would definitely become one of the top media groups in Hong Kong, or even the entire country in a few years. He also told Gu Tianla that Polar North Star had already purchased the Galaxy Image and was planning to show off in the field of movies. Gu Tianla also knew about Galaxy Image. This company was founded by Duchifeng, and Gu Tianla had heard that the big boss behind the scenes was the head of XINEN, Xiang Huaqiang. When the Silver River illustration was first created, it turned out that as the trump card of Wireless Television Limited, Wei Jiahui wanted to bring Gu Tianla along, but at that time, the contract between Gu Tianla and Wireless Television Limited had yet to expire, and he was unable to escape from the Wireless Television Limited. Therefore, Gu Tianle was very confident in the strength of his new owner, North Pole Star, to be able to buy the Silver River illustration from Xianghuaqiang. Xian also said at this time, if the Asia Television Limited still uses these equipment to fight the wireless war in the future, I'm afraid they won't have any chance of winning. Her face was full of worry. You can rest assured about this, because Polaris is now building a new broadcasting city in General Australia. It takes up nearly 200,000 square feet of land, and all the fields and equipment are new. Situ Jianying, who was walking over with Wang Shijuan, happened to hear the conversation between Gu Tianle and the others. She could not help but tell them about the news that Zhou Hao had told her. Gu Tianle and the others looked at Situ Jianying and Wang Shijuan and were slightly stunned. Xian asked curiously, building a new TV city in General Australia? Why haven't we heard of it before? Little sister, who are you? How do you know? We are Zhou. We are the friends of Sister Su Lin. Situ Jianying originally wanted to say that she and Wang Shijuan were Zhou Hao's friends, but then she remembered that these people did not know that Zhou Hao was the mastermind behind the Asia Television Limited. So she changed her words and said that she was Su Lin's friend. Hearing that the two were friends of the broadcasting department's general manager, Gu Tianle and the others' expressions eased up. This news? Did Miss Su tell you? Anyway, you just have to believe my words. Situ Jianying said, around the beginning of the year, the Asia Television Limited will move to the new TV city. But this news has not been announced to the public yet, so don't tell anyone about it. Luo Jiaoyang turned his head and said to Gu Tianle and Xian, I've heard that Sixth Uncle once wanted to buy a piece of land from General Australia to build a new TV city for wireless construction. However, it seems that the piece of land that he took a fancy to has already been bought and built into an industrial estate. After that, it was left unsettled. He looked at Situ Jianying. Little sister, could it be that the industrial estate that is being built is the new TV city of Asia Television Limited? I don't know. Situ Jianying turned her head and smiled, but her eyes revealed some slyness. Wang Shijuan, who was beside her, suddenly saw so many celebrities on TV. She was already so reserved that she did not know what to say and would not casually interrupt. Xian, Luo Jiaoyang, and a few others looked at each other and felt that the industrial estate should be the new TV city. After learning that the Asia Television Limited was building the new TV city, their confidence had increased. Oh my, I almost forgot the proper business. Situ Jianying suddenly shouted, can the few of you give us an autograph? We really like the TV series you shoot. As she spoke, she handed the pen and paper to Xian, who was the closest to her. Xian and the others could not help but smile when they heard that. However, they could not help but like Situ Jianying and Wang Shijuan, these two lovely girls, so they signed their names one by one. They even agreed to take photos with them. After leaving the dressing room, Situ Jianying casually put Gu Tianle and the rest's signatures into her small bag and said to Wang Shijuan, who was beside her, in the past when I watched them act in a television series, I was still thinking about what they would be like in private. Now it seems that they are also ordinary people. Wang Shijuan also nodded. Furthermore, they will be Zhou Hao's employees in the future. I really did not expect that Zhou Hao would actually become the owner of such a large television station and even build a new television city. He has only just entered high school this year. His eyes were filled with pride and happiness, because the man he loved was really too outstanding. Situ Jianying took a deep look at Wang Shijuan and suddenly said, Shijuan, honestly speaking, do you think Zhou Hao is an outstanding man? Wang Shijuan immediately nodded. Of course, Zhou Hao is the most outstanding man in the world. Then Shijuan. Situ Jianying wanted to say something but stopped herself. What's wrong? Wang Shijuan felt that Situ Jianying's reaction was a little strange. Since Zhou Hao is so outstanding, Shijuan, have you ever thought about it? Situ Jianying asked her. Other than you, there might be other women who would like him? When she suddenly heard this question, Wang Shijuan was stunned. She seemed to have never thought of this question. Situ Jianying sighed again and said, just like how a woman being too beautiful would turn into a disaster. Sometimes, it is not a good thing for a man to be too outstanding. After discussing with Lu Dahua, Zhou Hao drove his own car and left. After that, he also made a trip to the office of Galaxy Investment Company in the plaza. After Su Lin held a press conference, she went to the office of Galaxy with Song Jiahao and handed over her work in Galaxy to Song Jiahao and Willie Worth. Zhou Hao wanted to send her back to Asia Television Limited. Su Lin was helping Zhou Hao temporarily manage the affairs of the Galaxy. With the help of Zhou Hao's detailed operation plan and Song Jiahao and other elite operators, the matters of the Galaxy were all settled. Therefore, Su Lin's original task was not heavy. Zhou Hao even became the handshake manager. Because of this, Zhou Hao let Su Lin take charge of the Asia Television Limited, while Song Jiahao took charge of the Galaxy. Leave it to them. Zhou Hao picked Su Lin up in the parking lot of the square and asked her after she got into the car. Su Lin nodded. Zhou Hao said again, "Are you familiar with the affairs of Asia Television Limited? Is there any problem?" "It's okay. Except for those filming work, Asia Television Limited's operations are actually similar to other companies." Su Lin said, "It's just that the original business publicity network was completely built up by Lee Sin Group. Now that those people have been chased away by you, we need to rebuild this business network." Zhou Hao started the car and drove off in the direction of Asia Television Limited. At the same time, he smiled and asked Su Lin, "I think those guys should be waiting to see us make a fool of ourselves." "Su Lin, do you have the confidence to set up the Asia Television Limited's business network and let those guys have a good look?" "Since you said so, even if you don't have it, you should have it." Su Lin smiled and said, "Besides, just like what you said earlier, as long as the viewership ratings of our television station go up, do we still need to be afraid of no customers?" Today, Liang Jiashu brought so many people over from the Wireless Television Limited, and the news of you reducing the number of people you hire has already caused a huge sensation in Hong Kong. Although our new TV series hasn't started filming yet, everyone in Hong Kong has their eyes on us. Su Lin looked at Zhou Hao, who was sitting in the driver's seat, and asked, "By the way, Miss Chai Jiping told me that Meteor Garden is about to start filming. The two male leads, Yin Qingxiu and Zhou Chongming, as well as the female lead, Su Shiyuan, have all come from Taiwan. Miss Chai Jiping would like to ask, what are your plans for the style of this television series?" However, Zhou Hao couldn't help but laugh. Regarding the style, she still needs to ask me, a layman, about it. She said this is the first time we have tried this kind of drama. We have no experience in the past. Besides, I am afraid that I will be blamed by you, the big boss, if I mess it up, Su Lin said. Zhou Hao shook his head and smiled. "I have a date with zombies," Zhou Hao said. "It has never been filmed in Hong Kong before. You see, Chen San and Xian Jiwei are not bad. They have already started filming." In fact, he knew that Chen San dared to do it. Once he made up his mind, he would never turn back. Therefore, he never thought that he would be blamed if he messed up. Now that he had become the director of the composition department, as long as he didn't say anything, no one would dare to oppose him. Plus, Xian Jiwei and Li Zhaoxi were assisting him from the side. Chen San could be said to be a fish swimming freely in the ocean. On the other hand, Chai Jiping and Kai Yueshuan lacked Chen San's sharpness, especially since they had just come from Taiwan. They were very afraid that something would go wrong, so they were very careful about everything, fearing that they would take the wrong step. Zhou Hao thought for a moment, then said to Su Lin, "Su Lin, do you know the difference between idol faction and strength faction?" Su Lin did not know why Zhou Hao would suddenly ask such a question, but she still answered, "Idol faction relies on their face to make a living, and power faction relies on their own strength to make a living." Moreover, many idol sects only became famous for a period of time, and it was very difficult to last long. However, some idols will also change to the real power faction through hard work. Idol and real power factions are the highest realms of celebrities, just like the current Lu Dehua. Zhou Hao nodded and smiled. "You're right. In my opinion, most idols are just 4 words. They are flashy but not practical. They only give people a beautiful appearance. As for the underlying meaning, now, fewer and fewer people will pay attention to this. Take Hong Kong's entertainment industry as an example. I remember a very impressive person saying that girls don't need to act when filming in Hong Kong. As long as they're thin, it's fine. Actually, this was what Lu Qingyun had said in I Want to Be Famous. Lu Qingyun had finally won the title of Best Actor because of this movie. Zhou Hao was also considering letting Lu Qingyun film I Want to Be Famous in a few years. Su Lin smiled and said, "Although what you said is a little one-sided, part of it is the truth." So on and so forth. Idol dramas mainly focus on idols. Zhou Hao said, therefore, idol dramas do not need to be as rigorous as other dramas. In fact, idol dramas do not need to stick to reality. To put it bluntly, the style of idol dramas is as flashy and impractical as idol celebrities. We need to film idols as fantastically as possible to make them look more beautiful and give the audience the feeling of a modern fairy tale. Su Lin expressed her doubt. Can a television series like this work? A television series is like a novel. It originates from life and is above life. Zhou Hao smiled and explained, if we film the TV series too realistically, no one will watch it. Do you know what a woman's favorite fairy tale story is? Seeing Su Lin shake her head, Zhou Hao smiled and said, it's the story of Miss Grey. Nowadays, many girls fantasize about meeting a young, rich, gentle, and considerate Prince Charming, and giving themselves a chance to turn into a sparrow into a phoenix. Look at those female celebrities. Each and every one of them wants to enter the wealthy class because they want to fly up a tree and become a phoenix. The idols we are filming are talking about the story of Miss Gray meeting the prince. Give the audience a chance to fantasize. Let them have a chance to escape from reality for the time being. If you put it that way, then most of the audience watching idols are girls. Su Lin said. What about the boys? Zhou Hao smiled. As long as the girls watch, are you afraid that the boys who want to please the girls will not watch? You're really crafty. Su Lin rolled her eyes at Zhou Hao and looked at his handsome and resolute face. However, her heart started to ripple because in her eyes, Zhou Hao was a typical Prince Charming, handsome, rich, gentle, considerate. Zhou Hao had all these characteristics of Prince Charming. Unfortunately, this Prince Charming was like a treasure. Everyone wanted it, and not just him. Very quickly, Zhou Hao brought Su Lin to the underground parking lot of Asia Television Limited. Su Lin combed her hair. She said to Zhou Hao, "Oh right, Guoxianong said there will be a cocktail party tonight at Polar North. At that time, he will invite the directors of the various recording companies and film companies in Hong Kong. You will also go." "Yes, I will be there as an invited guest," Zhou Hao said. "No one will know that I am the boss of Polaris." Speaking of which, Guoxianong is quite capable. And Ai Yongxiao didn't introduce him wrongly. This Guoxianong was actually brought over by Ai Yongxiao from Malaysia. He graduated from the School of Media Management in Malaysia. He originally wanted to open a management company in Malaysia. However, on one hand, he lacked funds and on the other hand, he lacked connections. Thus, in the end, he did not succeed. Guoxianong's father was a good friend of Ai Yongxiao's father. Back then, Ai Yongxiao had been sent to Singapore by his father because of Guoxianong's father's support. A few days ago, Ai Yongxiao learned that Guoxianong's father had passed away due to illness in Malaysia, and Guoxianong had not returned to Singapore because of his poor life. Therefore, Ai Yongxiao had brought Guoxianong over to Hong Kong. He originally wanted him to help him manage the film companies under the alliance. However, he had just found out that Zhou Hao wanted to develop in the film industry. Xiang Huaqiang did not even frown and gave the Milky Way image and a record company to Zhou Hao. So, Ai Yongxiao sent Guoxianong, the media management talent, over to Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao intuitively felt that Guoxianong was a rare talent, so he let Guoxianong manage the branch of the Northern Pole Star in Hong Kong. The Northern Pole Star had just established itself in Hong Kong, and there were many things that needed to be done. It was almost time for Guoxianong to start his own business, and he had to manage the Milky Way image well. Dutch Feng was a little proud of his talent. Xiang Huaqiang had also told Zhou Hao that if he did not use high-pressure methods, he would not be able to suppress Dutch Feng. However, Zhou Hao had discovered that Guoxianong and Du Qifeng were getting along very well. Du Qifeng had also told Wei Zhehui that Guoxianong was a talented man who was rarely seen in 100 years. Now, Su Lin was watching over the Asia Television Limited, and Guoxianong was watching over the Hong Kong branch of the Northern Pole Star. They could be considered to be complementing each other. Zhou Hao's heart skipped a beat when he saw Su Lin's elegant and refined face. He knew that this girl was not only natural, but also beautiful. She was not the kind of vase that only had looks and no inner meaning. She was not inferior to any man. It was a blessing that he could have her. When Su Lin saw Zhou Hao's burning gaze, 2 red clouds appeared on Su Lin's face. Zhou Hao also slowly moved his head over and kissed her soft and plump red lips. There was no one else in the parking lot. Su Lin and Zhou Hao were alone in the car. They could enjoy the intimacy between the two of them. However, just as Zhou Hao kissed Su Lin did not have the time to enjoy that feeling. She suddenly wanted to push Zhou Hao away and looked outside the car at a loss. While Zhou Hao was puzzled, he also followed her gaze and was immediately stunned. Because he saw Situ Jianying and Wang Shijuan standing not far away from the car and looking at him and Su Lin in shock. Zhou Hao's heart skipped a beat when he saw Wang Shijuan and Situ Jianying staring at him blankly. He thought to himself, "Damn it." Then he saw crystal-clear tears slowly coagulate from Wang Shijuan's eyes. Finally, the tears rolled down her eyes. It turned out that after Wang Shijuan and Situ Jianying visited the Asia Television Limited, they went to the parking lot to wait for Zhou Hao because they knew he would come and pick them up. Seeing Zhou Hao's car drive in, they walked over happily, but they did not expect to see Zhou Hao kissing Su Lin. Shijuan. Zhou Hao saw Wang Shijuan's tears and felt that his heart was about to break. He hurriedly opened the car door and was about to walk out. However, he saw that Wang Shijuan had already turned around and ran out. Zhou Hao hurriedly shouted, "Shijuan." Shijuan, listen to me. Wang Shijuan did not care about Zhou Hao's shout. She even covered her ears and kept running out. Zhou Hao wanted to chase after her, but he saw Situ Jianying waving at him, signaling him not to go. She chased after him. Zhou Hao understood what Situ Jianying meant. At this time, there was no use explaining. If he chased after her, he might not be able to get out of control. Furthermore, with Situ Jianying by Wang Shijuan's side, Zhou Hao was more at ease. After all, although Situ Jianying was only 16 or 17 years old, she was much more mature than her peers. Plus, her father was the director of the Public Security Bureau, so she was also better at dealing with people. Therefore, Zhou Hao just stood by the car in a daze and let out a lonely sigh. Originally, with his skills, it was easy for him to find the other people in the parking lot. The bad thing was that he was infatuated just now and only cared about Su Lin, who was by his side to kiss her. However, he did not divert his attention to the matter of the accident. He did not expect that Wang Shijuan and Situ Jianying would bump into him. Situ Jianying was still better. She already knew that there were other women around him and even made up her mind to be Zhou Hao's lover. But Wang Shijuan had always been protected by Zhou Hao and could not bear to let her get hurt a little. Previously, Li Rulin and Yin Qingqing's matter, even Yin Tong did not dare to tell her. Comparatively speaking, Wang Shijuan was more like a flower that was carefully protected by Zhou Hao and Yin Tong in a greenhouse. Now that such a sudden change happened, it was hard to accept for a moment. Sigh, it was the same last time. Jia Bao saw me being intimate with eldest sister. Zhou Hao remembered the last time he was intimate with Zhao Yuqin at the Beijing airport, but was at the same time sent to Beijing at the same time to give Zhou Hao a surprise. Yang Jiabao caught adultery. Zhou Hao sighed and thought, it seems that if I want to be intimate with someone in the future, I must first use my intuition to sense it. I will only act when there is no danger. Although that was the case, if he really wanted to use his superhuman intuition to sense it before being intimate with every woman around him, it would be too tiring and too disappointing. Su Lin came to Zhou Hao's side and held his arm as she said faintly, sorry, it's all my fault. Zhou Hao shook his head. How can I blame you? It's all my fault. Sigh, I never dared to let Shijuan know about these things. I was afraid that she would not be able to take it and would be hurt. I didn't think that it would still be. Su Lin stroked his back. Zhou Hao, don't be like this. The important thing that comes will come. Actually, this is also good. Long-term pain is better than short-term pain. You should let Shijuan calm down. I know that her feelings for you are not any less than any of us. She will not leave you. After she has thought it through, she will definitely return to your side. Zhou Hao nodded. Don't worry. I'm fine. Come, I'll send you up. After saying that, he brought Su Lin to the elevator of the Asia Television Limited's building. On the other side, Wang Shijuan rushed out of the parking lot with tears streaming down her face and walked straight out of the entrance of the Asia Television Limited. In her daze, she did not see a car that was turning around and entering. She only reacted when she heard the ear-piercing horn sound, but the front of the car was already in front of her. At this moment, Situ Jianying pulled her away from the car. At the same time, she scolded the driver in the car. How did you drive? Didn't you see anyone? The driver originally wanted to scold Wang Shijuan for walking without eyes, but he did not expect Situ Jianying to complain first. When he wanted to speak again, Situ Jianying had already walked away with Wang Shijuan. Shijuan, don't be like this. Zhou Hao will be worried about you. Situ Jianying said to Wang Shijuan as she walked. Wang Shijuan only shed tears and did not answer Situ Jianying. She only felt a suffocating pain in her heart. Situ Jianying had told her before that she did not think that there would be other women who would like Zhou Hao. Actually, Wang Shijuan had never thought of this question before because Zhou Hao and Yin Tong were too good to her. It was so good that Wang Shijuan would never think of such a thing. It was only when Situ Jianying mentioned it that Wang Shijuan came to a realization. That's right. Zhou Hao was so outstanding. Could it be that she was the only one who liked him? Wang Shijuan asked herself. There was no doubt about Zhou Hao's outstanding performance. Otherwise, Wang Shijuan would not have fallen so deeply in love with him. However, Wang Shijuan liked Zhou Hao from a very young age. The two of them could be said to be childhood sweethearts. Wang Shijuan liked Zhou Hao from the beginning. At the beginning, it was hazy. Later, it became deeper and deeper. Finally, Zhou Hao told her how he felt about her. The relationship between the two of them was officially established. He treated Wang Shijuan so well, and it was also because of Zhou Hao that Wang Shijuan's life and her family had also undergone a tremendous change. Lu Shiping went from a workshop supervisor to a shareholder of a large food company. She lived in a mansion and drove a famous car. And all of this was brought by Zhou Hao. So, In Wang Shijuan's eyes, Zhou Hao was the sky. When she saw Zhou Hao and Su Lin kissing in the car just now, Wang Shijuan felt as if the entire sky had collapsed. In fact, even when she saw the intimacy between Zhou Hao and Su Lin, she did not hate Zhou Hao for being fickle in her heart. Instead, she was thinking if she had done something wrong and made Zhou Hao not like her. So when Zhou Hao got off the car and wanted to catch up with her, Wang Shijuan was also afraid that Zhou Hao wanted to break up with her, so she covered her ears and ran out. Not because she did not want to hear Zhou Hao's explanation. In her eyes, Su Lin was so outstanding. She was mature and beautiful, and she could also help manage Asia Television Limited. If she really wanted to compete with her for Zhou Hao, Wang Shijuan had no confidence at all. She didn't dare to imagine how she would face Zhou Hao if he really said that he wanted to break up with her. She didn't dare to imagine how she would survive without Zhou Hao. Situ Jinying saw Wang Shijuan so sad and thought that she was angry because of Zhou Hao. She did not guess that she was actually afraid that Zhou Hao would not want her. So she did not dare to say anything else. She just followed closely by Wang Shijuan's side to prevent anything from happening to her. Very quickly, the two of them walked out of the broadcast channel and slowly walked towards the downtown area. Wang Shijuan did not cry out either and only silently shed tears. And for such a beautiful and charming girl like her to silently shed tears, it naturally attracted the attention of the surrounding pedestrians. So Situ Jinying kept pulling her towards a place with fewer people to avoid attracting the attention of others. Seeing Wang Shijuan so sad, Situ Jinying's heart also did not feel good, especially when she and Zhou Hao were not innocent. This made her guilt even heavier. She brought Wang Shijuan to a very unique coffee shop by the roadside and randomly found a seat by the window to sit down. Shijuan, don't be like this. If you are like this, I will also be very sad. Situ Jinying kept patting Wang Shijuan's shoulder to comfort her. Wang Shijuan turned her head and looked at Situ Jinying with teary eyes. Jinying, tell me, does Zhou Hao not like me anymore? Does he not want me anymore? Why do you think so? Situ Jinying did not know whether to laugh or cry. She knew Wang Shijuan's position in Zhou Hao's heart. In comparison, even if Zhou Hao did not want her, he would not want Wang Shijuan. She sighed and said to Wang Shijuan, actually, you shouldn't blame Zhou Hao and sister Su Lin. Just like my mother said, men are like radishes. They are born with playfulness. It's just that some men don't have the ability to do so, so they are forced to do it again and again. And you see, although our country has set a monogamy system, those rich officials who are in power, all of them have 3 wives and 4 concubines in the open and in the dark. I'm not afraid of you making a joke out of me. My dad isn't just my mom. She's also not the only woman. Situ Jinying said to Wang Shijuan, speaking of which, Zhou Hao is already very good. At least he will not treat women as tools to vent his desires. He will give them his true feelings. As for sister Su Lin, think about it. After being with a man like Zhou Hao for such a long time, as long as he is not stupid or blind, he will like Zhou Hao. Hearing Situ Jinying's words, Wang Shijuan was stunned. Her mind was filled with messy thoughts because she did not expect Situ Jinying to have such a concept. Looking at Situ Jinying's expression, Wang Shijuan suddenly thought of something and looked at her in shock. Jinying, you also. Don't tell me you also. Like Zhou Hao. Situ Jinying lightly trembled. When she saw Wang Shijuan's expression, she wanted to deny, but her lips trembled. But in the end, she could not open her mouth to lie to Wang Shijuan. After a long time, she lowered her head and said very softly, Shijuan, I treat you as a true friend, so I do not wish to hide it from you. Actually, Zhou Hao and I started a long time ago. What? Wang Shijuan looked at Situ Jinying in shock. She had never thought that this would be the result. Situ Jinying hurriedly grabbed Wang Shijuan's hand. Shijuan, I did not mean to hide it from you, but it is just... At this time, Wang Shijuan's eyes were already empty and lifeless, as if her soul had disappeared. Shijuan, what happened to you? Don't scare me. Situ Jinying was really shocked by Wang Shijuan's appearance and hurriedly pushed Wang Shijuan. She saw Wang Shijuan looking at her blankly. After a long time, her eyes recovered some spirit, but he heard her say faintly, Jinying, can you let me be alone for a while? I want to think about it by myself. But Situ Jinying now somewhat regretted telling Wang Shijuan the truth. Back then, she and Wang Shijuan knew each other in secondary school. At that time, Situ Jinying was the big sister in the class, but all the boys in the class liked the delicate and beautiful Wang Shijuan. Therefore, Situ Jinying, who could not bear to look at Wang Shijuan and was secretly jealous of Wang Shijuan, caught Wang Shijuan and brought her to the back alley to humiliate her. It was also because of this that Situ Jinying met the nemesis of her life, Zhou Hao. Later on, Situ Jinying deliberately got close to Wang Shijuan in order to please Zhou Hao. But gradually, she and Wang Shijuan became true friends. It was also because of this that she felt so guilty towards Wang Shijuan. Wang Shijuan shook her head. Jinying, if you still treat me as a friend, then let me be alone for a while. I will be back in a while. But, you are not familiar with Hong Kong. Jinying, please. Wang Shijuan bit her lower lip and begged. At this point, Situ Jinying could not bear to reject Wang Shijuan anymore. Gritting her teeth, she took out a handphone and passed it to Wang Shijuan. Shijuan, take this handphone. If there is anything, take it. You can call Zhou Hao, okay? Wang Shijuan nodded silently and put the handphone away. Situ Jinying also stood up and looked at Wang Shijuan. She saw that she turned her head to look out the window and did not look at herself. Situ Jinying sighed and left the coffee shop a little lonely. Of course, Situ Jinying did not really leave. Wang Shijuan was a weak girl. Being in Hong Kong, this concrete forest that was filled with red, wine, and green things, it was really hard for people to feel at ease. So Situ Jinying went to an ice room opposite the coffee shop and quietly paid attention to Wang Shijuan. Wang Shijuan was immersed in the sadness in her heart and did not notice Situ Jinying, who was hiding in the opposite room. She just sat on the seat by the window and supported her cheek to look at the flow of people and cars outside the window. The crystal-clear tears silently flowed out of her eyes and slid across her face. Finally, it fell onto the glass on the coffee table and broke into pieces. Even the waiter in the coffee shop couldn't bear to see the scene of Erin Lei crying. He quietly put a tissue on the coffee table and didn't dare to disturb her. At that moment, a young man wearing a light blue shirt and brown casual pants walked in. He walked straight to the bar of the coffee shop and was just about to order a cup of cappuccino coffee from the waiter when he accidentally saw Wang Shijuan sitting by the window and silently crying. The lights in the coffee shop were dim and sad music flowed in the air. Wang Shijuan was sitting there, holding her chin with her hand and looking out the window. There were 2 wet tears on her face, and there was a teardrop hanging from her long eyelashes. It was so beautiful that it moved one's heart. This scene caused the young man's mind to be greatly shaken. He felt as if the string in his heart had been fiercely plucked. "Sir, your cappuccino." The waiter handed a cup of coffee to the man. The man, who was stunned, suddenly came back to his senses and took the cup of coffee. He looked at Wang Shijuan and asked the waiter, "That lady?" "Oh, that lady has been sitting there for a long time," the waiter said softly, afraid that he would disturb Wang Shijuan. Seeing her cry so sadly, perhaps it is because of a relationship problem. Sigh. I wonder which B***starred is so heartless to actually hurt such a beautiful and delicate girl. When the man heard this, he also deeply agreed. Looking at Wang Shijuan's silent and sorrowful expression, he thought that it would make such a girl cry in grief. Definitely not a good man. After taking a deep breath, he slowly walked towards Wang Shijuan. When he reached Wang Shijuan's side, he took out a tissue and handed it to her. Wang Shijuan turned her head to look at the young man and her face was stunned. She heard the man gently say, "Miss, do you have any difficulties? Tell me. Maybe I can help you." "Thank you. But there was no need. I'm fine." Wang Shijuan shook her head at this strange man. "Do you mind if I sit down?" The man said to Wang Shijuan and sat opposite her. Suddenly, there was a man sitting across from her, which made Wang Shijuan feel a little unnatural. But she was a polite person, so she did not want to suddenly let him go. The man also passed the tissue to her. "Miss, wipe it." Although she did not know why you were sad, if someone else saw it now, they would think that it was me who made you cry. At that time, I'm afraid that all the male compatriots won't let me go. Seeing that the man was saying something interesting, and that he had good intentions, although Wang Shijuan was still very sad, she could not bear to brush away other people's good intentions. She thanked him and took the tissue from him. She gently wiped away the tear stains on her face. When this man saw Wang Shijuan wipe away her tears so gently and lovable, his heart could not help but be filled with tenderness. He could not help but hate that fellow who caused Wang Shijuan to cry even more. "Miss, do you have any troubles? Say it out. It will be better if you say it out." The man said to Wang Shijuan, "How about this? I will be your final listener. I will also keep a secret for you. Besides, we met by chance and no one knew each other. So you don't have to worry about anything." This man's smile was very kind and gave people a kind feeling. However, Wang Shijuan was currently troubled by the most personal thing about their relationship, so how could she tell others about it? "I think Miss must have encountered emotional troubles," the man probed and asked. He saw that Wang Shijuan did not deny it. He continued to smile. "Then, to be able to make you so sad, is it because your boyfriend is not good to you? Or did he hurt you?" Wang Shijuan quickly shook her head. No, he treated me very well and never hurt me. He was very good to you? The man frowned and said, if he was good to you, how could he bear to let you cry? I think he must be a bad man, because as long as he's not a crazy person, he would never have the heart to make you cry. However, Wang Shijuan revealed a trace of dissatisfaction on her face. No, he is the best man in the world. He treats me very well too. Don't say bad things about him. Seeing that Wang Shijuan's eyes were still filled with tears, but she still protected that man, the man could not help but feel sour in his heart. There was even a trace of jealousy. He said to Wang Shijuan, then tell me, why are you so sad? Looking at Wang Shijuan's hesitant expression, he deliberately said, then you still say that he is a good man. I think he is the worst and worst son of *TCH in the world. I won't allow you to say that to him. Wang Shijuan stared at the man and then sighed sadly. Actually, it is like this. Thus, she told the man in front of her what she saw previously. The man was furious when he heard that. He could not help but beat the tea table and said angrily, you actually said that he is the best man in the world? Any man who can have a girl like you as a companion is already a blessing that he has cultivated for several lifetimes. He actually dares to step on two boats like this? No, it's not just two boats. He actually doesn't even let go of your good friend. Such a man. It's impossible to redeem him even if he dies 10,000 times. Wang Shijuan sighed faintly. Actually, this cannot be blamed on him. He was so outstanding. It was no wonder that Sister Su Lin and Jianing liked him. Actually, I do not blame them. She propped her chin up and looked out the window. I'm just worried that Sister Su Lin is so capable and can help him take care of a lot of things. Jianing is also a strong and independent girl. Compared to them, I am just an ordinary girl and can't help him at all. I am afraid that he will not want me anymore. As soon as she finished speaking, a teardrop flowed out of her eyes. He. When the man heard Wang Shijuan's words, his anger could not be quelled. He did not expect that not only did Wang Shijuan not blame her boyfriend for being fickle, she was even afraid that he would be abandoned. What kind of person was that guy? To have such a girl fall in love with him, he did not know his fortune. The man said angrily in his heart. He said to Wang Shijuan, Miss, you should throw away such a man. Such a man can't give you happiness at all. He will even destroy your entire life. Where in the world is there no beautiful grass? I think you are just a leaf covering your eyes. Let me tell you, there are still many good men in the outside world. You don't have to destroy yourself like this. That's enough. If you say anything bad about Zhou Hao, please leave. Wang Shijuan could not tolerate others slandering Zhou Hao like this. She said to the man in front of her, I said that he is the best man in the world. Other than him, no one can give me happiness. I finally know that guy's name. It turns out that his name is Zhou Hao. He thought in his heart. However, he really wanted to cry right now. It was truly a waste for him to be a villain like this. But after thinking for a while, he said to Wang Shijuan again, then you actually want to return to his side, right? Of course, I never thought of leaving him. Wang Shijuan said, even if he won't marry you in the future, you'll only be his secret lover for the rest of your life. Are you willing to do that? The man looked deeply at Wang Shijuan. Wang Shijuan heard this and bit her lower lip. There was a flash of hesitation in her eyes. When the man saw Wang Shijuan's hesitation, a trace of joy appeared in his heart because it seemed that Wang Shijuan had not fallen deeply into Zhou Hao's mud feet. But just as he was about to comfort Wang Shijuan again to not be infatuated with Zhou Hao, he saw Wang Shijuan suddenly gritted her teeth and said very seriously, I am willing. Even if Zhou Hao will not marry me in the future, even if I do not have a reputation, I am also willing to be with him. Because, without him, I cannot imagine whether I can live or not. In comparison, I would rather stay by his side and be his woman obediently. It was hard to imagine. Wang Shijuan, who gave off a delicate and touching feeling, would actually say such firm words, especially the expression in her eyes, making people not doubt her words at all. Seeing Wang Shijuan's firm expression and firm words, the man's heart suddenly tightened. Now, he really had an impulse to meet that Zhou Hao and see what kind of person he was. To be able to make a girl like Wang Shijuan be so loyal to him, she would rather be a lover that she would never be able to see for the rest of her life than to leave him. However, he did not show anything on his face. He still maintained his smile and said to Wang Shijuan, you just said that what you are most afraid of now is that he will abandon you, right? Seeing Wang Shijuan nod her head, he continued, there is a method that can help you test his attitude and see how he will react. Does he still value you as much as before? Hearing the man's words, Wang Shijuan hurriedly asked, What method is it? Wang Shijuan's fervent expression made the man's heart ache even more. He smiled and said, that is, don't contact him for the time being, and don't let him find you. If he is nervous about you, he will definitely do everything he can to find you. If that's the case, will he be worried? Wang Shijuan said hesitantly. The man wanted to cry but had no tears. Wang Shijuan had been thinking about Zhou Hao all the time. If it was him, he would have died of happiness a long time ago. That Zhou Hao should still be hugging him from left to right. He said to Wang Shijuan, if he still has you in his heart, of course he would be worried. However, if he really doesn't like you, not only will he not be worried about you, he might even hope that you will disappear forever. When Wang Shijuan heard this, a layer of moisture rose in her originally teary eyes, and she immediately started to cry. Seeing this, the man could not bear it and quickly comforted her. I was only guessing. If he had you in his heart, he would definitely do his best to find you. Oh right, do you have a handphone with you?
Yes.
Wang Shijuan nodded and took out the phone Situ Jianying gave her earlier. The man took Wang Shijuan's handphone and turned it off. Wang Shijuan saw the situation and quickly shouted, what are you doing? If he can't find you, the man smiled. When he can't get through to you, he'll worry about you, the man said. Wang Shijuan was still a little hesitant. Wouldn't it be bad if Zhou Hao was worried? I have already said that it is better if he is worried. He is worried about you, which also means that he cares about you. The man said, it's almost dark. You just wait here and see if he will come to find you. Wang Shijuan nodded and said to the man, thank you, your husband. Oh right, you haven't told me your name yet. The man smiled lightly. Before you ask someone else's name, you should tell them your name. That should be polite. I'm sorry. Wang Shijuan stuck out her tongue. My name is Wang Shijuan. You can just call me Shijuan. Wang Shijuan sticking out her tongue was really cute, and it made this man have a strong feeling of tender love in his heart. He wished that he could rub Wang Shijuan in his arms and take good care of her. But in the end, he restrained this impulse and smiled warmly. Hello, Shijuan. My name is Lu Mingwei. You can just call me Mingwei. Oh, Mingwei. Wang Shijuan smiled shyly. The sky gradually darkened, and the city outside the window was soon covered by the night sky. The colorful neon lights also slowly lit up. Wang Shijuan and Lu Mingwei sat in the coffee shop and chatted. However, Wang Shijuan's mind was filled with Zhou Hao's figure, so she was always a little absent-minded. Lu Mingwei also knew that she was thinking about Zhou Hao, but he did not say it out loud. He continued to chat with Wang Shijuan and unlocked her. After chatting, Lu Mingwei found out that Wang Shijuan came from China to Hong Kong to play. Lu Mingwei was also very curious about Zhou Hao and wanted to know something about him from Wang Shijuan. Wang Shijuan was very proud of Zhou Hao. When she talked about Zhou Hao, her face was full of spirit. She talked about how good Zhou Hao's grades were in school, how Zhou Hao helped his family open a restaurant and a cake shop, and how Zhou Hao opened an investment company in Hong Kong. However, because Zhou Hao's Galaxy Investment Company and that he owned North Pole Star, she didn't want others to know about it. Therefore, Wang Shijuan did not tell Lu Mingwei much about it. She did not even mention the name of Zhou Hao's investment company. At this time, she was still thinking about Zhou Hao. At the same time, Situ Jianying was also in the ice room opposite the ice room, paying close attention to Wang Shijuan. When she saw Wang Shijuan talking and laughing with a young and handsome man, she was secretly anxious. Who is that man? Why is Shijuan chatting with him so happily? She took the fixed phone in the ice room and dialed Zhou Hao's number. When Zhou Hao heard Situ Jianying's voice, he was very surprised and asked, Jianying, you are still by Shijuan's side, right? How is she? I am not by her side, but she is in my field of vision, Situ Jianying said. Then what is she doing now? Has her mood improved? Zhou Hao asked on the phone. Situ Jianying said, she is in a coffee shop. Yes, she is sitting there by herself. It is fine. Don't worry, I'm watching her. She did not dare to tell Zhou Hao that Wang Shijuan was with a young and handsome man. Because Situ Li was the director of the Public Security Bureau, Situ Jianying knew that Yin Qingqing was kidnapped by Du Fenghai. Du Fenghai wanted to do something bad to Yin Qingqing, so he kidnapped her. That was exactly why he had touched Zhou Hao's reverse scale and caused Zhou Hao to start a massacre. He killed 2 of his companions and cruelly crippled Du Fenghai's limbs, allowing him to live in the black prison for the rest of his life. Zhou Hao usually treated people with kindness and courtesy, especially to the women around him. He was even more gentle and considerate. However, just because Zhou Hao was gentle did not mean that he would not be angry. His reverse scale was the women around him. If anyone dared to have any ideas about his woman, they would definitely suffer Zhou Hao's cruel revenge. Situ Jinying thought that Wang Shijuan was now righteous in her heart. If Zhou Hao knew that she was with a man, he would definitely rush over at all costs. At that time, it would be even more difficult to save those who bumped into Wang Shijuan on Mars. On the other hand, when Zhou Hao heard that Wang Shijuan was still with Situ Jinying, he felt more at ease. Moreover, he still had to attend the North Pole Star cocktail party. So at this time, he was changing clothes with Su Lin and driving to the venue of the cocktail party, Lijing Hotel. Hong Kong Lijing Hotel was the Hong Kong Intercontinental Hotel that would change its name in the future. It was a luxury hotel that was renowned throughout the world. As the Hong Kong branch of North Pole Star was located in the building of Asia Television Limited's broadcasting channel, it was inappropriate to hold a cocktail party there to entertain VIPs. Therefore, Guo Xiannong had specially booked a banquet hall at Lijing Hotel to host this cocktail party. According to Zhou Hao's plan, the Asia Television Limited would move over as a whole at the beginning of next year after Australia's new television city was built. The old building that was left behind would be the Hong Kong branch of the Northern Pole Star. It could be considered to be of great use. Although the people attending this banquet were all tycoons in Hong Kong's entertainment industry, Zhou Hao did not come over in formal attire like the others. Instead, he wore a light blue casual shirt with vertical stripes, a pair of dark blue jeans, and a white Nike Air Force One. He was dressed in a pair of shoes. In Zhou Hao's previous life, this was a very casual and handsome outfit for young people, but now it looked very special. It was completely different from the other rich and famous people dressed in formal attire, but it did not give people any discomfort. Instead, it gave people a different feeling. Su Lin, on the other hand, was much more formal. She was wearing a white open-shoulder and knee-length dress, which made her look very noble and generous. As soon as the two of them entered the venue, they attracted the attention of many invited guests. They were not familiar with Zhou Hao, but they recognized Su Lin, who had just shown off in front of the media. These people were all famous people in Hong Kong's media industry. Among them were the chief editor and even the boss of the major newspapers and magazines, the higher-ups of the film companies and recording companies, and the real heavenly kings. Even Xiang Huaqiang and his wife, Ni Yongxiao and his wife, came to support Zhou Hao. Other than Xiang Huaqiang and Ni Yongxiao who knew the inside story, the rest of the people were very curious about Su Lin. After all, although the Asia Television Limited had always been suppressed by the Wireless Television Limited, it was still the second largest television station in Hong Kong. Its development was something that everyone on the scene paid close attention to. However, Zhou Hao looked at the banquet hall and did not see Xiao Yifu and Fang Yihua. He thought that Xiao Yifu and the others knew that the North Pole Star was a company that bought over the Asia Television Limited, and they had also poached 1/5 of the resources from the wireless network. They could not swallow this anger, so they did not attend. However, other than Xiao Yifu and the rest, the people in the banquet basically covered all of Hong Kong's entertainment circle. A man who looks like he's in his 30s, wearing a black suit in the middle of a cocktail party. This man was not handsome, but he was very good-looking. Moreover, he had a calm aura around him. One look, and one could tell that he had trained in a dangerous world. He took the microphone from the waiter and smiled at the crowd. "Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to this cocktail party on our Polar North Star in your busy schedule. I'm here to thank you all." This man was the one that Ni Yongxiao had introduced to Zhou Hao, Guo Xiannong, who had been arranged by Zhou Hao to manage the Northern Pole Star Hong Kong branch. He said to everyone, "Let me introduce my colleagues to you all. Hee, I believe everyone has seen her on TV before. Yes, the new general manager of Asia Television Limited's broadcasting department, Su Lin." Su Lin smiled at the crowd and went to the center of the banquet hall. She stood beside Guo Xiannong and smiled at the guests at the banquet with a microphone. "Hello, everyone. I have just become the general manager of Asia Television Limited's business department. I am still inexperienced. Please take care of me." Everyone applauded Su Lin to show their support. Su Lin, who had been meticulously dressed, was even more beautiful than the female celebrities present. Moreover, she was the person who became the general manager of the broadcasting department after the Asia Television Limited changed owners. She had a lot of power in the Asia Television Limited, which was enough to become the focus of everyone present. "Mr. Zhou." Guo Xiannong came to Zhou Hao and greeted him respectfully. "Many big shots from Hong Kong's entertainment circle are here for today's cocktail party. Our Polar North has finally made a big name for ourselves." Zhou Hao smiled and shook his head. "No, tonight's cocktail party isn't the first. We have to produce a good piece of work before we can be considered to have hit the jackpot." Guo Xiannong nodded. "That's why Director Du has already closely prepared to shoot Dark War, according to your script." Director Du said so. "Mr. Zhou, Your script is very interesting and very zhang. You said that you would use this movie to make Liu Dehua the best actor. Everyone is very confident. Zhou Hao knew that according to the development of his previous life, the best actor for this year's Hong Kong Golden Statue Awards was Zhang Zishir, who was the main character of 3 Injured Police. Zhou Hao was not worried at all about the competition between Dark Combat and 3 Injured Police. At this moment, he saw Su Lin chatting with a man in a suit not far away. Su Lin's social skills were very strong. She was not inferior to these sophisticated people at the cocktail party. Guo Xiannong saw Zhou Hao's gaze fall on Su Lin and that man over there. He took the initiative to speak to him, that is the manager of Wireless Television Limited's Foreign Affairs Department, Shen Zhanshua. Xiao Yifu and Fang Yihua did not come, but sent him over. Zhou Hao nodded his head, looking at Shen Zhanshua and Su Lin chatting happily. Zhou Hao knew that the two of them were actually fighting in secret, especially that Shen Zhanshua. Although his face was full of friendly smiles, there was a kind of knife hidden in his smile. After all, the Asia Television Limited and Wireless represented the competitors of many years. Now that the Asia Television Limited had been taken over by Zhou Hao, they had even poached a large number of geniuses from the Wireless Television Limited. Therefore, Su Lin and Shen Zhanshua naturally did not give in to each other. Regarding this, Zhou Hao didn't go over to talk to them, because to Su Lin, this was something that she didn't want to talk to. It was a very good opportunity for her to train. After all, she was going to represent the Asia Television Limited in the war with Wireless. It wasn't impossible for her to find out more about her opponent now. Holding a glass of champagne, Zhou Hao thought of Wang Shijuan in his heart. A melancholic feeling spread in his heart. It could be said that Wang Shijuan was the person who could affect his heartstrings the most, because he had missed Wang Shijuan in his previous life. At that time, Wang Shijuan married a wealthy merchant in Hong Kong when she was 19, and she rarely met Zhou Hao in the future. Therefore, after his rebirth, Zhou Hao told himself that he could not miss Wang Shijuan this time. He did not want to regret it for the rest of his life. His eyes swept across the entire scene. Zhou Hao saw a triangular piano called Stanway in the banquet hall. He had an idea and said to Guo Xiannong next to him, "Is there a camera here? Can it be live broadcasted across the entire Hong Kong?" Guo Xiannong was slightly taken aback. However, he quickly reacted. "Yes, Mr. Zhou. We have the equipment to prepare for the transfer. However, if it's going to be a live broadcast in Hong Kong," Zhou Hao said unquestionably, "then do a live broadcast in Hong Kong. I want to let all the outdoor advertising screens in Hong Kong see it. Also, ask Asia Television Limited to stop broadcasting the original program and broadcast it here for me." Although these things were difficult, it was not impossible to complete them, especially since Zhou Hao was the boss. No matter how difficult it was, Guo Xiannong had to think of a way to complete it. These things were quickly prepared. When the guests at the cocktail party suddenly saw a group of cameramen carrying cameras walking in, they were all very surprised and subconsciously wanted to avoid the camera. However, this was unnecessary because the cameras did not want to shoot them at all. Instead, they followed Zhou Hao closely. Zhou Hao went to the triangular piano in the banquet hall and sat down. He put his hands on the keys and turned around to nod at the cameraman. The cameraman pointed the camera at Zhou Hao. The director pointed at Zhou Hao and counted with his fingers. After counting down, the director pointed at Zhou Hao, indicating that he had entered the live broadcast. The surrounding guests looked at Zhou Hao curiously, not knowing what he wanted to do. Zhou Hao faced the camera and took a deep breath. Then he slowly said, "Today, I hurt a girl. I feel very guilty. When I saw her tears, I felt like my heart was going to break. I don't know if she can see it now, but I still have to tell her that I love her. I can't live without her." His face was very sincere. "Here, I present a song I wrote for her, hoping that she can return to my side." Only then did the others understand that Zhou Hao wanted to use the live broadcast to persuade his girlfriend to stay. They felt that his actions were quite creative. When many of the female guests saw Zhou Hao's handsome face and sincere expression, they couldn't help but feel envious of the girl he wanted to keep. Among the people present, only Su Lin knew who that girl was. At this moment, she quietly looked at Zhou Hao with a complicated expression in her eyes. However, there were also some people who felt disdain towards Zhou Hao's actions, because many of the people here were the cream of the crop in Hong Kong's recording industry. The singers they had seen and trained were like carp in a river. Now that Zhou Hao wanted to play the songs he composed in front of them, it made them feel contempt for him. They even had the attitude of watching a good show from Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao's 10 fingers started to dance on the piano keys. Everyone heard a melodious sound coming from between his fingers. Zhou Hao also started to sing passionately towards a microphone on the piano. "I am still the same even at this point in time. The loneliness in the night makes people sad. I dare not think too much, because I am alone. The moonlight stretched out his figure. I am walking on the cold street with no destination. I don't have any news about you, because I'm thinking about you. Love me and don't leave. If you say that you don't love me, don't listen to me. Give me a little more tenderness. Love me, don't leave. If you say you don't love me, don't listen to me. Give me a little more tenderness. I am still the same at this point. The loneliness in the night makes people sad. I dare not think too much, because I am alone. The moonlight stretched out his figure. I am walking on the cold street with no destination. I don't have any news about you, because I'm thinking about you. Love me and don't leave. If you say that you don't love me, don't listen to me. Give me a little more tenderness. This song was Zhang Jinyue's Love Me Don't Leave. However, according to the original development, this song would only be released in December of next year. At this moment, Zhang Jinyue had yet to compose this song. Thus, when Zhou Hao sang this song, it openly became his original. Zhou Hao's voice was rather low and magnetic. It was even more interesting than Zhang Jinyue's. Moreover, the melody of Love Me Don't Go was very pleasant. So when Zhou Hao opened his mouth, everyone's thoughts were drawn to him. At the same time, his voice and figure appeared on the television of many Hong Kong families through the cameras. The large advertisement screens in the big shopping malls and the outer walls of the buildings also showed the scene of Zhou Hao sitting in front of the piano and singing by himself. Love Me Don't Go was originally a song played by a guitar. Now that Zhou Hao had used the piano to play it, it was even more interesting and more expressive. In addition, his appearance and temperament were excellent. The socialites and artistes at the cocktail party stared at Zhou Hao with shining eyes. Suddenly, they had a suffocating feeling. They felt that Zhou Hao had a suffocating charm. The higher-ups of the record company, who had previously looked down on Zhou Hao, were now staring at Zhou Hao with their mouths agape. From their professional point of view, they could only play the piano in concert. Although it would make the melody a little weak, it also showed that Zhou Hao's voice was very attractive and charming. In particular, Zhou Hao's martial arts cultivation had already reached the realm of transforming intent into form, and his mental strength was extremely powerful. Now that he was playing and singing like this, he naturally poured his mental strength into it. That infectious strength also increased greatly, making those who heard it deeply feel his sincere feelings towards Wang Shijuan. Lu Mingwei and Wang Shijuan were originally chatting in the coffee shop, but suddenly, a melodious music and a magnetic male voice came from the television in the coffee shop, making Wang Shijuan's entire body tremble. Furthermore, there was a large advertisement screen on the outer wall of the shopping mall opposite the coffee shop, and it was broadcasting the scene of Zhou Hao playing and singing to himself. Lu Mingwei did not know why, but he suddenly saw Zhou Hao singing on the screen opposite him. He smiled and said, "This guy is quite thoughtful. I wonder who the girl he wants to keep is." As soon as he finished speaking, he saw Wang Shijuan crying again. Zhou Hao had heard from Situ, Jinying that Wang Shijuan was in a cafe in the downtown area. Zhou Hao thought that there should be a large advertising screen there, so he used this live broadcast method to express his feelings towards Wang Shijuan in front of the entire Hong Kong people. Under those advertising screens, or outside the TV shops, many citizens stopped, especially some young girls. They were deeply attracted by Zhou Hao's appearance, temperament, and moving singing. They all guessed that this was an idol singer who was about to debut. However, after Zhou Hao finished singing Love Me Don't Go, the live broadcast ended. It resumed the program that was supposed to be broadcasted, making those who were attracted by Zhou Hao cry out in dissatisfaction. Many people even made calls to various large television stations and magazines, asking who this handsome man who suddenly appeared in front of the public was. At the cocktail party on the North Pole Star, after those people heard Zhou Hao's performance, they were all shocked by his talent. Those senior executives of the record company who had previously disdained Zhou Hao even surrounded him at this moment. "Sir, what's your name? Are you interested in releasing a record? You can sign a contract with our company. Is this song called Love Me Don't Go and sell it to us?" A general manager of Sony Records company said to Zhou Hao, "Sir, as long as you sign a contract with our company, we can promise to give you at least one album every year." A senior member of the Global Records company also said to Zhou Hao, "We will also repackage you and fight for the opportunity to develop your film industry. As long as you sign a contract with our company, I guarantee that you will become a famous celebrity in Hong Kong in less than a month." Every record company was scrambling to offer an olive branch to Zhou Hao, but Zhou Hao was not interested in it at all. He rejected the people from the record companies and walked to Su Lin's side and said to her, "I will go and find Shijuan first." Su Lin nodded. "Yes, I will go back by myself later." She looked deeply at Zhou Hao, Bring Shijuan back? Yes, sir. Zhou Hao nodded slightly and walked out of the banquet hall. He went straight to the parking lot of Li Jing Hotel and drove away. He went straight to the coffee shop that Situ Jinying mentioned. Once he got out of the car, he saw Wang Shijuan sitting behind the glass window. She was holding her face and crying, which made Zhou Hao's heart ache. However, Zhou Hao also saw Lu Mingwei sitting opposite of Wang Shijuan. He immediately frowned. As if they were connected, Wang Shijuan, who was covering her face and crying, suddenly looked up. She saw Zhou Hao standing outside the coffee shop, staring at her quietly. Zhou Hao, Wang Shijuan called. She could not hold it in anymore and ran out of her seat. She pushed open the door of the coffee shop and rushed towards Zhou Hao. Like a swallow throwing its nest, she threw herself into Zhou Hao's arms. Zhou Hao also opened his arms. When Wang Shijuan threw herself into his arms, he hugged her tightly. She buried her head deep into Zhou Hao's chest and cried, "Zhou Hao, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will never leave you again. I'm sorry." Zhou Hao hugged her and felt a tender love fill his chest. The one who should be sorry should be me. I'm sorry. Wang Shijuan could not help but shake her head. No, I shouldn't have ran out and made you worry. Did you just hear the song I sang for you? Zhou Hao hugged her and said warmly, I made that song especially for you. It's called Love Me Don't Go. Zhou Hao also felt guilty about plagiarizing other people's works like this. But for Wang Shijuan, he could only bite the bullet and admit it. Stop talking. When I heard that song of yours, I almost cried. Wang Shijuan sobbed because the lyrics of Love Me Don't Go were too emotional. Especially under the circumstances of Zhou Hao and her, the lyrics could not be any more appropriate. It deeply moved Wang Shijuan's heart. Feeling the jade figure in his arms, Zhou Hao let out a long sigh in his heart. Finally, he had a feeling that the sky had turned green after the rain. At this moment, he also saw the man who was with Wang Shijuan just now push open the door and walk out. Facing this man's gaze, Zhou Hao could feel that there was a deep hostility in this man's eyes, and this hostility was directed at him. At the same time, he also felt that he had seen this man somewhere before. You must be that Zhou Hao, Lu Mingwei said to Zhou Hao. Just now, when Wang Shijuan saw the person singing on the big screen of the building opposite her, she immediately cried out. Lu Mingwei was quick-thinking and immediately guessed that the man playing the piano on the screen should be Zhou Hao. When he thought of that person being Zhou Hao, Lu Mingwei's mind was greatly shaken. Putting aside the fact that Zhou Hao could make such a big noise, how much strength was behind him? The charm that came from his singing alone was irresistible. It could be seen from the eyes of those pedestrians who were attracted by Zhou Hao's singing. He had thought that it was rare for this man to spend so much effort to persuade his girlfriend to stay, especially since his song was so touching. If he were his girlfriend, she would change her mind. However, he had never expected that this man was the Zhou Hao that Wang Shijuan loved. Lu Mingwei's appearance was not inferior to Zhou Hao's, but Zhou Hao's extremely romantic actions had a great impact on girls. Lu Mingwei could now understand why Wang Shijuan was still loyal to him, even though Zhou Hao had many steps. Facing Lu Mingwei's obvious hostile inquiry, Zhou Hao only nodded and smiled. That's right, I am Zhou Hao. May I ask who you are? Wang Shijuan lifted her head from Zhou Hao's arms. Zhou Hao, this is Mr. Lu Mingwei. He is a good person. He saw that I was so sad just now, so he kept chatting with me to explain myself. He also told me that if you care about me in your heart, you will definitely think of ways to find me. It turns out that it is true. After saying that, she lowered her head shyly. She also did not expect that Zhou Hao would use this kind of live broadcast to express his feelings to her. Lu Mingwei? When Zhou Hao heard this name from Wang Shijuan, his heart skipped a beat, because he clearly remembered that the Hong Kong merchant who married Wang Shijuan in his previous life was called Lu Mingwei. Could this Lu Mingwei be the person who married Shijuan? Zhou Hao looked deeply at Lu Mingwei in front of him. Now it seemed like it was not wrong. No wonder he felt that he had seen him somewhere just now, because at that time, Lu Shiping's family still had the wedding photos of Wang Shijuan and that Lu Mingwei. Zhou Hao had seen them once. They also met like this? Zhou Hao looked at Lu Mingwei and Wang Shijuan, who was in his arms, in surprise. They were husband and wife in the previous life. Now after Zhou Hao changed his life, they actually met again. Was this the fate of the heavens? Zhou Hao could not help but raise his head to look at the increasingly dark night sky. His hand that was hugging Wang Shijuan also tightened. I don't care if it is fate or not. Anyway, Shijuan is my woman. No one can take her away from me. Zhou Hao said fiercely in his heart. He looked at Lu Mingwei with a hint of hidden viciousness. He smiled at Lu Mingwei and said, Haha, I'm sorry, Mr. Lu. I have troubled you because of us. Also, Thank you for your understanding of my girlfriend. She is unfamiliar with Hong Kong. I'm afraid that she will meet bad people. Lu Mingwei raised his eyebrows slightly. Wang Shijuan was pure and kind, so he could not tell what Zhou Hao meant. Lu Mingwei knew that Zhou Hao was clearly saying that he was the evil person who wanted to harm Wang Shijuan. Mr. Zhou, you don't have to worry about this. The security in Hong Kong is very good. Lu Mingwei also smiled at Zhou Hao and said, by the way, I heard from Shijuan that your relationship is in trouble. Although relationship is a matter between two people, outsiders shouldn't meddle in other people's business. But Shijuan is really a good girl, so I still hope that Mr. Zhou can treat her well. Otherwise, with Shijuan's good conditions, and you are not the only man in the world. Zhou Hao did not need to say anything. Wang Shijuan, who was in his arms, said to Lu Mingwei, Mingwei, don't worry. Zhou Hao and I are fine now. Thank you for comforting me just now. Lu Mingwei felt a sharp pain in his heart when he heard Wang Shijuan's words. Anyone with discerning eyes could see that. In Wang Shijuan's eyes, there was only Zhou Hao. She only treated Lu Mingwei as an ordinary friend. Shijuan, you have to consider your own matters. You have to know that you are not the only one by his side. Lu Mingwei said to Wang Shijuan seriously. Zhou Hao frowned. Although Lu Mingwei was Wang Shijuan's husband in her previous life, to a certain extent, Lu Mingwei was Wang Shijuan's ex-husband in her previous life. But that was in her previous life. Wang Shijuan was his woman now. Lu Mingwei's words were already meddling in the matter between him and Wang Shijuan. However, he heard Wang Shijuan shake her head and firmly said, I don't care how many people he has with him. I won't leave him either. Hearing Wang Shijuan's words, Zhou Hao felt as sweet as honey in his heart, especially when he saw the helpless and resentful expression on Lu Mingwei's face. He felt even more delighted in his heart. Shijuan, get in the car first. I still have to thank Mr. Lu. Zhou Hao smiled at Wang Shijuan. Wang Shijuan was very obedient to Zhou Hao at this time. When she heard him, she nodded and said goodbye to Lu Mingwei. Then she obediently got into Zhou Hao's car. Zhou Hao turned his face to look at Lu Mingwei. The smile on his face immediately disappeared and changed into a cold expression. Mr. Lu, thank you very much for your understanding of my girlfriend, but if there is no need for you in the future, I hope you will not meet my girlfriend again. In the face of Zhou Hao's cold and cruel words, Lu Mingwei was stunned for a moment, but he quickly recovered. He looked at Wang Shijuan, who was sitting in Zhou Hao's car. He saw her in the car, but his eyes were still fixed on Zhou Hao's back. It was as if there was only Zhou Hao in the entire world. Lu Mingwei's heart hurt again. He moved closer to Zhou Hao and said in a low voice, Zhou Hao, you better treat Shijuan better. Although this is the first time I see her today, I already like her. As long as you relax a little and let me have the opportunity, I will definitely snatch Shijuan from you without hesitation. You do not deserve to have such a good girl. Zhou Hao only shrugged and smiled at Lu Mingwei's words. You can come at me and see if you can take my Shijuan away. After saying that, he patted Lu Mingwei's shoulder and turned around to walk towards the car. He had just taken a step when he turned around and said to Lu Mingwei, "Oh right, I forgot to remind you. If you are dealing with enemies, I have never cared about the means. So, once you make a move, you have to be prepared to deal with my counterattack." Then, he walked over and got into the car. Wang Shijuan lowered the window and waved at Lu Mingwei. Bye, Mingwei. Lu Mingwei also smiled at Wang Shijuan. Bye. After saying goodbye, Wang Shijuan closed the window again. She did not feel reluctant to part with Lu Mingwei at all. Looking at Zhou Hao's rapidly disappearing car, Lu Mingwei suddenly shouted from behind, "Zhou Hao, I, Lu Mingwei, am not an ordinary person. Remember this." Due to the distance and the tightly shut windows, Wang Shijuan did not hear Lu Mingwei's voice, but Zhou Hao's hearing was amazing, so he naturally heard it clearly. However, he only sneered in his heart because even in his previous life, the reason Wang Shijuan married him was because Zhou Hao did not seize the opportunity to confess to Wang Shijuan. If Zhou Hao had known Wang Shijuan's feelings for him at that time and seized the opportunity, Lu Mingwei would not have had the chance to interfere. Therefore, the relationship between Zhou Hao and Wang Shijuan had already been established. It was even more impossible for anyone to break it apart. As for whether Lu Mingwei would use other means to deal with Zhou Hao had never been worried about this. On the contrary, he had an impulse to fight Lu Mingwei. He wanted to see who was the most qualified person to obtain Wang Shijuan's trust, and he was alone in the car with Zhou Hao. Wang Shijuan looked at Zhou Hao, who was beside her. In her mind, he played the piano and sang the song, "Love Me Don't Go." Her heart was sweet beyond words. Sensing Wang Shijuan's gaze, Zhou Hao smiled slightly and sighed again. "Shijuan, Lu Mingwei was right just now. You are not the only woman by my side. Are you still willing to stay by my side? Wang Shijuan nodded solemnly. As long as you do not want me, I have already thought that if you really do not want me then, I really don't know how to continue living. Zhou Hao lovingly caressed Wang Shijuan's slightly tender face. In other people's eyes, Wang Shijuan might be foolish to do such a thing to him. Lu Mingwei did not understand why Wang Shijuan was willing to let him be wronged like this. She wanted to be together with Zhou Hao. However, as the saying goes, a son is not a fish. How would one know the joy of a fish? Wang Shijuan's feelings towards Zhou Hao were only known to herself. She also knew that her world could not be without Zhou Hao, or else the entire world would collapse. However, when did the matter between you and Jianing start? You guys have been hiding it from me for so long. I am really a little angry. Wang Shijuan pouted and said. Zhou Hao was stunned because he did not expect Wang Shijuan to know about the matter between him and Situ Jianing. He drove the car to the opposite side of the street, and Wang Shijuan saw a familiar figure walk up. The door opened, and the person sitting in the car was Situ Jianing. Jianing? Didn't you leave just now? Seeing Situ Jianing on the street opposite the coffee shop, Wang Shijuan was very surprised. How could I be at ease with you? I was afraid that something would happen to you, so I just looked at you from the other side. Situ Jianing said and even passed a bag to Wang Shijuan. I know that you haven't eaten anything for a long time. This is fresh pineapple oil that came out of the oven. Put it on your stomach first. Situ Jianing was so concerned about her, and Wang Shijuan was very touched. When she thought about how she told her to leave previously, she could not help but feel guilty and said, Jianing, I am sorry for what I did to you just now. I should be the one apologizing to you. Situ Jianing also sighed and said, I have kept the matter between Zhou Hao and me from you for so long. I also blame myself. But now it seems that you and Zhou Hao should have passed the rainy day. And Wang Shijuan smiled sweetly. Situ Jianing came over and whispered into Wang Shijuan's ear. In that case, Shijuan, you have to help me if Zhou Hao bullies me in the future. This guy is very detestable and purposely bullies us weak girls. Zhou Hao naturally could hear Situ Jianing's words. He reached out and patted her perky butt and scolded her jokingly. Don't say bad things about me. Wang Shijuan suddenly asked Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao, other than Sister Su Lin and Jianing, are you and Sister Qingqing also? After what happened this time, she had finally opened her eyes. She remembered that whenever she mentioned Zhou Hao to Yin Qingqing at home, there would always be a sweet and happy expression in Yin Qingqing's eyes. At that time, Wang Shijuan did not understand and also did not think of other aspects. But now that she thought about it, Yin Qingqing was clearly like herself, deeply in love with Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao sucked in a breath of cold air. He did not expect Wang Shijuan to notice him so quickly. Situ Jianing also smiled and said by the side, I already knew that this guy had malicious intentions towards his cousin. This guy was born to be a big pervert. Wang Shijuan rolled her eyes lightly at Situ Jianing. Then even if you know, you won't tell me? Her face was flushed red. This is bad. I often tell Sister Qingqing about you and Zhou Hao in front of her. Then wouldn't Sister Qingqing know everything? Zhou Hao said, Don't worry. Sister Qingqing already knew about me and you. But she was afraid of hurting you, so she never told you. Wang Shijuan looked at Zhou Hao coquettishly. You guys are so annoying. Then I will let you guys know everything. Woo. I have said so many embarrassing things in front of Sister Qingqing. It is so embarrassing. She finally understood why Yin Qingqing would reject Xiao Jiming's pursuit. It turned out that she was like herself, and had long attached all of her heart to Zhou Hao. When they returned to the villa, Su Lin was already waiting for them there. After everything was confessed, the three girls could not help but express their feelings. However, they also had a tacit understanding to chase Zhou Hao back to their room. The three girls chatted quietly together. After Zhou Hao returned to his room, he immediately called Anai Yongxiao. What's wrong? Are you suddenly interested in being a singer? Do you want me to help you contact the bosses of those record companies? Anai Yongxiao joked when he received Zhou Hao's call. To be honest, Zhou Hao's performance tonight had really surprised him. What are you talking about? Zhou Hao scolded him with a smile. Even if I really want to, I will still find my own record company. Do I need to let the fertilizer flow into other people's fields? Anai Yongxiao smiled and said, That's true. Right. While there's no one around, tell me quietly. Who exactly is the girl you hurt? Did you coax her back? You don't know. You're really famous in Hong Kong now. Many people are asking about you. Let them ask about it. Anyway, I'm not interested in developing in the entertainment industry. These things will be diluted in a while. Zhou Hao said, As for you, as the leader of a society, when did you become so gossipy? Is it a sequela of marriage? Don't say so much. Help me find out about someone first. Who is it? Zhou Hao said. His name is Lu Mingwei. He should not be an ordinary person. Help me find out. Lu Mingwei? Zhou Hao asked. I think I have heard this name before. And Ai Yongxiao muttered to himself. You know him too? This time, Zhou Hao was also surprised. If an Ai Yongxiao knew about Lu Mingwei, it meant that he really wasn't an ordinary person. Let me think about it. An Ai Yongxiao said on the phone. By the way, Zhou Hao, did you tell me about Lu Wanhong? Zhou Hao paused and said, Is it the chairman of Imei Gao Company, Lu Wanhong, who is called Big Lu? And Ai Yongxiao said, It's him. Actually, Zhou Hao knew about this Lu Wanhong not because of other reasons. It was because of the scandal between Lu Wanhong and those female artists in the entertainment industry that he had a better understanding of Lu Wanhong. And Ai Yongxiao introduced, This Big Lu is a very famous sniper in Hong Kong's stock market. In the 1980s, he once attacked the Feng family's Han real estate and swallowed the entire Han real estate. He also completely destroyed the Feng family, which was once famous. Furthermore, although Lu Wanhong loved to keep female stars and was rather high-profile in his relationship life, he was very low-profile in the business world. He was the type of person who would shoot arrows in the dark. Furthermore, although according to the assets of the companies under his name, his assets are after the top 10 consortiums in Hong Kong, his assets have long been on par with the top billionaires of the top 10 consortiums or even surpassed them. That Lu Mingwei? Zhou Hao asked again. That Lu Mingwei is Lu Wanhong's son. And Ai Yongxiao replied. Originally, Zhou Hao only knew Lu Mingwei as an ordinary wealthy merchant. Even in his previous life, when the internet was booming, Zhou Hao did not deliberately investigate Lu Mingwei's information. Because at that time, when Zhou Hao understood Wang Shijuan's feelings, Wang Shijuan was already a woman. Under the pain, Zhou Hao subconsciously avoided everything related to Wang Shijuan and did not inquire about anything about her, including her husband, Lu Mingwei. But now, everything was different. Zhou Hao didn't have to be afraid of this anymore. That was why he immediately asked about Lu Mingwei and wanted to know what kind of person he was. Zhou Hao never thought that this Lu Mingwei was actually the son of that Big Lu Wanhong. This Lu Wanhong was someone who could be compared with the top 10 consortiums in Hong Kong. Although Zhou Hao had taken advantage of the crisis in Asia to become the biggest winner, he had earned billions of dollars in one go. However, compared to Lu Wanhong or any of the top 10 consortiums in Hong Kong, Zhou Hao was only interested in his assets. There was still a long way to go. Furthermore, the top 10 consortiums in Hong Kong, as well as the top tycoons like Lu Wanhong, had accumulated over many years. Their brand, connections, and even management experience were much better than Zhou Hao's. He heard Ai Yongxiao say on the phone, This Lu Mingwei was sent to study in England by his parents a long time ago. He only came back to help Lu Wanhong manage his business a few years ago. However, although Lu Mingwei was young, he could not be underestimated. Like his father, he is very talented in the stock market and finance. I heard that he sniped a medium-sized company in the United States and split it up and sold it. He made a few $100 million for the Chinese property market. Zhou Hao nodded. It seemed that Lu Mingwei belonged to the kind of person with a prominent family background and ability. However, he was able to successfully attack that medium-sized company in the United States because of the support of Mandarin Real Estate or Lu Wanhong's large funds. Otherwise, with his personal ability, it would be very difficult for him to complete this task. However, a prominent family background was also a kind of strength. There was no doubt about it. As the successor of Lu Wanhong's business kingdom, Lu Mingwei had the full strength of Lu Wanhong. He could not be underestimated. All right, thank you, Yong School, Zhou Hao said to the microphone. You're welcome, but Zhou Hao, I have to remind you first. And Ai Yongxiao said, if you want to deal with the Lu family, it's best to make a long-term plan, because wealthy businessmen like Lu Wanhong are very powerful in the black and white circles. If you use the underground forces to deal with him and get discovered, I'm afraid the government won't be able to explain it. What Ai Yongxiao said was the truth. It was time. Rich people like Lu Wanhong had long been under the watch of Hong Kong and even the central government. Therefore, the government would take some measures to protect them. Take Li Jiaqing as an example. His eldest son had once been kidnapped by a great thief, Zhang Zihao. Although the Li family did not call the police in the end, Zhang Zihao was still arrested and shot in the end. This was the means of the central government. They wanted to tell the Li family that the government would protect them. Of course, if the people of the Li family violated the law, they would also be punished by the law. And now, the alliance had just surrendered to the country. If they touched Lu Wanhong, it might cause suppression in the country. This could not be avoided. Of course, as long as you don't ask me to send people to kidnap them or even kill them, I will not decline anything else, and I Yongxiao said. Zhou Hao scolded him with a smile. Do you think I am Zhang Zihao? I kidnap people so easily. After talking to an I Yongxiao, Zhou Hao took a shower again, then left the room and went to the living room. When he turned on the TV, he saw that Asia Television Limited was playing the scene of him singing to himself at the North Pole Star cocktail party. Since Zhou Hao had broadcasted it on the Asia TV, the Asia Television Limited still had this recording. Zhou Hao's performance in Love Me, Don't Go had caused a sensation in Hong Kong. Many Hong Kong citizens were asking around about the handsome man who had appeared on the TV and advertising screens all over Hong Kong. The Asia Television Limited took the opportunity to replay the video, which had also increased the viewership ratings. However, the Asia Television Limited and the people of North Pole Star had received orders not to reveal any information about Zhou Hao to the public. Therefore, the Asia Television Limited did not reveal any information about Zhou Hao. They only said that he was one of the guests invited to the North Pole Star cocktail party. At the same time, Guo responded to many people's guesses about whether Zhou Hao was the singer that the North Pole Star was going to promote. He denied this rumor. Therefore, Zhou Hao, who had appeared in front of the people of Hong Kong for less than 4 minutes, became even more mysterious. The storm that he caused also seemed to grow stronger and stronger. Looks like you won't be able to show your face outside for a short period of time. Su Lin's voice suddenly came from behind. She saw her pretty face behind the sofa that Zhou Hao was sitting on. She leaned against the back of the sofa, her chin gently resting on Zhou Hao's head. She watched the videos played by the Asia Television Limited together with him. Zhou Hao smiled bitterly. I finally understand why Lu Dehua and the others always wear masks and sunglasses when they go out. He pointed to the television and smiled at Su Lin behind him. But look at me. I am so handsome. Look, when I was playing the piano, does it have the same taste as the Piano Prince? Su Lin lightly knocked on Zhou Hao's head. You are so smelly. But in her heart, Su Lin also felt that Zhou Hao was indeed very charming. He was much more charming than many singers. By the way, where are Shijuan and Jianing? Color, seduction? Wang Shijuan looked at Situ Jianing timidly. That's right. Situ Jianing giggled. Shijuan, you look so pitiful. Even if I am a woman, I cannot help but want to kiss you, let alone Zhou Hao, that big pervert. Wang Shijuan was still a little hesitant. Will it really work? If I do this, will Zhou Hao misunderstand that I am a casual girl? You have been with Zhou Hao for so long. Don't tell me he still doesn't know what kind of person you are. Situ Jianing said. Besides, we have to go back to school in a few days. I don't know if Zhou Hao will go back with us. If that's the case, we won't be able to see him for a while. You have to seize this opportunity and become his woman. Wang Shijuan knew that what Situ Jianing said was the truth, but when she thought about how she was going to be like Zhou Hao, her heart could not help but pound continuously. She heard Situ Jianing say, Oh right Shijuan, that Lu Mingwei you know today. If there is no need in the future, you better not meet him. You have to know that you are Zhou Hao's woman now. If you are too close to another man, although he will not be dissatisfied, it is also not good to do so. Wang Shijuan was slightly stunned when she heard that, and then understood what Situ Jianing meant. It was like a married woman was not suitable to get too close to a man other than her husband. Since Wang Shijuan had made up her mind to be with Zhou Hao for the rest of her life, she had to learn to avoid danger. Moreover, she did not want to make Zhou Hao unhappy. Besides, I can see that Lu Mingwei has no good intentions towards you, Situ Jianing said hatefully. She had been observing over there for a long time. When she saw Lu Mingwei patiently coaxing Wang Shijuan and chatting with her, it was obvious that he had taken a liking to Wang Shijuan and wanted to pursue her. In Situ Jianing's eyes, the one who took advantage of the moment when Wang Shijuan and Zhou Hao had problems to take advantage of was basically the one who took advantage of the situation. He was truly a lecher. It can't be. I feel that Mingwei is a good person. Wang Shijuan said. Situ Jianing shook her head and secretly thought that Wang Shijuan was kind enough. It was just that she did not know that the world was dangerous and unpredictable. This was also because Zhou Hao and the others protected her too well. She said to Wang Shijuan, Say, if he did not have a motive for you, why would he treat you so well without repaying you? For men, it is very difficult to maintain the purity of their motives when they see beautiful women. In reality, with so many women by Zhou Hao's side, Situ Jianing had never felt that Zhou Hao was a playboy. Lu Mingwei only showed a little goodwill to Wang Shijuan, and she treated him as a lecher. This could also be attributed to the fact that love could be seen in the eyes of lovers. It also proved that love could indeed make people blind. But Situ Jianing also hit the nail on the head. Lu Mingwei indeed had feelings for Wang Shijuan. Anyway, You should not meet that Lu Mingwei in the future. Situ Jinying reminded Wang Shijuan. You are just making friends with him purely out of kindness. I am just afraid that he has other motives for you. Oh, I understand. Although Wang Shijuan still did not feel that Lu Mingwei had any evil intentions, in order to not let Situ Jinying and the others worry, and also to not let Zhou Hao misunderstand, she still decided not to meet Lu Mingwei again. The night became darker and darker. In order to cope with tomorrow's work, Su Lin had long gone back to her room to sleep, and Situ Jinying also stayed in her room in order to fulfill Wang Shijuan's wish. She did not secretly run into Zhou Hao's room to have fun like in the past. Zhou Hao lay on the bed with his arms resting on his back, thinking about the development of the Asia Television Limited and the North Pole Star. Now, he was planning to buy a communication satellite for the use of the Asia Television Limited. He could also rent other channels to other television stations for profit. He also planned to buy a civil communication satellite from Hughes, the largest communication company in the world. At the same time, he wanted Asia Television Limited to add a national channel to broadcast to the entire country. After adding the national channel, and adding on the fact that Zhou Hao deliberately used the resources in Hongdian Film and Television City, many popular TV series in his previous life, such as The Great Ming Palace Poetry, Bright Sword, and The Soldier Assault, and even external history of the pugilistic world, could all be filmed. As the national language channel was for domestic audiences, there was no need to consider the taste of the Hong Kong audiences. Furthermore, the Asia Television Limited's original Cantonese channel, Hong Kong platform, was already available for them to watch. Therefore, although this channel was similar to Hong Kong Channel and International Channel, it also belonged to the Asia Television Limited channel. They could share various resources with each other, but there was no need to pursue unification of the content. As for this channel, Zhou Hao decided to name it Galaxy Television. At the same time, in order to increase the viewership of Hong Kong TV station, the Asia Television Limited had started to prepare a very popular TV game program according to Zhou Hao's plan, Millionaire. This TV game program originally originated from a television station in England. There were different versions of it all over the world. After Asia Television Limited bought the production rights and broadcast it, it immediately set off a trend of exchanging knowledge for wealth in Hong Kong. In his previous life, Millionaire was designed by a British director from 1995. After a few years of discussion and modification, it was finally premiered in England in 1998. In his previous life, Zhou Hao also liked to watch this program that was full of knowledge and fun. He also knew about the production of the key parts. Therefore, he did not need to discuss and modify it. He directly took out the plan and let the people of Asia Television Limited realize it. Furthermore, after snatching the British television station to produce Millionaire, he could also turn around and charge other television stations that wanted to produce this game program for the copyright. As for the host of Millionaire, of course, it was still done by Qin Chitai. Although Qin Chitai was currently busy filming the first I Have a Date with Zombies, however, since Millionaire was only released at the end of the year, I Have a Date with Zombies should have already finished filming by then, so it wouldn't hinder Qin Chitai's work. There was also North Pole Star. He had discussed with Wang Zhonglei and Wang Zhongjuan about the purchase of Huai Brothers Media Group in China. The people in the country conveyed the intentions of the Wang brothers to Zhou Hao. They wanted Huai Brothers Media Group to be sold for 300 million yuan. Zhou Hao had already agreed to this price. Moreover, Zhou Hao would also let Wang Zhonglei, Wang Zhongjuan, stay behind to help him manage the North Pole Star and promised to give them 3% of the shares. Wang Zhonglei and Wang Zhongjuan were all very rare talents. With their help, the development of the Northern Pole Star would be much faster. As he thought about this, Zhou Hao noticed that the door of his room was suddenly pushed open. Then, he saw a slim figure hiding behind the door. She hesitated for a moment before walking toward the bed. Although the room was dark, it did not affect Zhou Hao's vision at all, so he could clearly see that the figure was Wang Shijuan. Wang Shijuan was wearing a white short skirt pajamas, and her slender legs were shaking. Zhou Hao was lying on the bed, pretending to be asleep. He even deliberately snored. Wang Shijuan carefully walked to the bed. She first looked at Zhou Hao, who was on the bed, and then reached out her right hand timidly, as if she wanted to touch Zhou Hao's face. But just as her hand reached above Zhou Hao's body, Zhou Hao immediately reached out and grabbed her. With a little strength, he pulled Wang Shijuan onto the bed and pulled her into his arms. Wang Shijuan was shocked by Zhou Hao's sudden action and only reacted after a while. She pouted and said, "So you were pretending to sleep? You still blame me?" Zhou Hao hugged the cute jade figure and smiled. "Tell me, did you sneak into my room in the middle of the night to do the dirty business of stealing the fragrance of the jade? Humph, what a lascivious woman. How dare you?" Wang Shijuan did follow Situ Jianying's instruction and wanted to seduce Zhou Hao, but she did not expect Zhou Hao to make the first move. Embarrassed and angry, she twisted her body and refused to comply. You bully people. As for Zhou Hao, he should have gone to Yining Middle School to start school. However, he still wanted to see what was happening in Hong Kong, so he asked Li Rulin to apply for leave from school for him. With Zhou Hao's relationship with the Xi'an city government, the school naturally wouldn't make things difficult for him. After sending Wang Shijuan and Situ Jinying back, only Zhou Hao and Su Lin were left in the spacious half-mountain villa. They could also enjoy the pleasures of the fish and water to their heart's content. This kind of life made Su Lin complain to Zhou Hao often, saying that she had to work at the television station during the day. When she returned home, she even had to wait on Zhou Hao, the great master, who had completely become Zhou Hao's slave. A few days later, Zhou Hao received a call from Liang Xiaobing, who was far away in the United States. She said that she was coming back to Hong Kong. The last time Zhou Hao left Hong Kong and went back to Xi'an City, Liang Xiaobing also went to New York to learn acting skills. At that time, Zhou Hao even specially asked Lu Jinwu to borrow a few skilled female soldiers as bodyguards for her. Now that more than 2 months had passed, the short-term acting class that Liang Xiaobing had applied for had also ended. Furthermore, she also missed Zhou Hao very much, so she wanted to return to Hong Kong. On this day, Liang Xiaobing's flight arrived at Hong Kong after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because Su Lin still had to go to the Asia Television Limited, Zhou Hao sent her to the Asia Television Limited after dinner with her, then went to the airport to pick up Liang Xiaobing. However, after Zhou Hao sent Su Lin back to the Asia Television Limited, he realized that it was still early. He also thought that since he hadn't seen Liang Xiaobing for more than 2 months, it wouldn't be good for him to pick her up empty-handed, so he wanted to buy some flowers. He remembered that there was a flower shop called Butterfly Love Flower in the middle ring. The last time he went there, he also wanted to buy flowers, but later he was delayed because of other things. So Zhou Hao thought of that Butterfly Love Flower this time, but on the way, he suddenly remembered that he didn't have much cash in his wallet. At this time, he happened to see a branch of Hoofing Bank on the other side of the road. So he parked the car on the side of the road in front of the branch and got out of the car to walk in. It was just that during this period of time, Zhou Hao had played the video of Love Me Don't Go by himself, and it had spread all over Hong Kong, causing Zhou Hao to not dare to go out during this period of time. Now he was also wearing a duck mouth cap and a pair of sunglasses that covered half of his face before he dared to walk into the bank. Zhou Hao had a private account in the Hoofing Bank, and he still had 300 to 400 million Hong Kong dollars savings in this account. Due to the huge deposit, the bank even gave him a VIP Platinum card. Walking into this branch, Zhou Hao found that the area of this branch was very spacious. There were a total of 13 service windows, but there were also many customers in the bank at this time. Almost every window had people lining up, and there were also many customers waiting there. A female manager wearing a bank uniform came in front of Zhou Hao. However, since Zhou Hao was wearing a duckbill cap and a pair of big sunglasses, and this was a bank, this female manager subconsciously became wary of Zhou Hao. However, she still showed a friendly smile and asked him, "Sir, may I ask if there is anything I can help you with?" Zhou Hao smiled and said, "Nothing, I just want to withdraw some money." "Then let me help you raise the money. Because our branch has a lot of customers today, I need to trouble you to wait a moment." The female manager politely said, Do the Platinum VIP customers have preferential treatment? I remember the manager who opened my account said so." Platinum VIP customer? The female manager was slightly shocked. She sized up Zhou Hao and smiled. "Then can you please let me see your bank card?" So Zhou Hao handed over his bank card. When the female manager saw this exquisite bank card, she did not need to look carefully to know that Zhou Hao was a big customer of the company. She quickly said to Zhou Hao, "Sir, please go to the VIP room. We will immediately make the arrangements for you." After saying that, she personally brought Zhou Hao to an independent room over there. When they came to this room, Zhou Hao saw that it was very spacious. There was a coffee table and a sofa, and there was a woman sitting on the sofa. Before he could see the woman's face clearly, Zhou Hao could feel the noble aura emitted from her body. She was the true daughter of a noble family. The woman looked to be in her mid-20s. She had long, natural hair draped over her back. Her face was like a goose egg, her eyes were like the sun and moon. Her nose was like a jade hook, and her lips were like cherry petals. There was no makeup on her face, only a touch of faint red on her cherry lips. It was gorgeous, but not flamboyant. It was like a burning red glow in the evening sky. At a glance, although this woman was not as stunning as Zhao Yuqin, Li Shuihan, or Nanami Kaoru, but the more one looked, the more one would be able to discover the charm of her body. It was like a faint sandalwood fragrance. Although the fragrance was not strong, it was refreshing and calming. She was wearing a black silk dress, and the skirt covered her knees. Her legs were gently placed together on the ground and were wrapped in a thin layer of flesh-colored stockings, forming a very beautiful curve. Furthermore, the stockings reflected a bright glow and looked very charming. Looking at it again, she saw a piece of snow-white skin on the V-neck collar that was not too deep. There were also 2 clavicles that were perfectly exposed. There was a thin platinum necklace around her neck, and there was a small but dazzling sapphire hanging from it. Her arms, which were exposed outside her sleeves, were as slender as pink lotus roots. They were as white as amniotic fat, and her 10 fingers were as slender and elegant as green onions. However, there was a shiny platinum diamond ring on her right ring finger. At this moment, the woman was sitting on the sofa. Although she didn't move, her body still exuded the elegance and nobility of a noble lady. There was also the tranquility between her brows. It seemed that as long as one saw her, even the surging emotions would instantly turn into an ancient well without ripples. Zhou Hao was almost certain that this girl wasn't born from an ordinary family the moment he saw her. That was because the temperament on her body was something that ordinary people couldn't nurture. Furthermore, she was able to come to this VIP room. Therefore, Zhou Hao was sure that this person must have come from a wealthy family. When she saw Zhou Hao enter, the girl smiled politely and nodded at him. Zhou Hao immediately responded with a smile. "Sir, please take a seat. I will immediately go and help you with the withdrawal business." The female manager invited Zhou Hao to sit on the sofa and personally poured him a glass of water. Then she smiled and nodded at the woman beside Zhou Hao. She turned around and walked into the office on the other side of the room that specialized in handling business for VIP customers. Seeing that there was no one in the VIP room, Zhou Hao took off his duckbill cap and the sunglasses on his face. When he sat next to this rich girl, he felt a faint fragrance drift into his nose and straight into his heart. He knew that this was not any kind of perfume, but the natural fragrance emitted from this lady's body. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This girl was really natural, because there weren't many women who had natural fragrance, and she was also so beautiful. His gaze landed on the ring finger of this woman's right hand, and he couldn't help but feel a bit of pity in his heart. It wasn't that Zhou Hao had a bad impression of this beautiful girl the moment he saw her. This was just a common disease that many men had. Every time he saw a beautiful woman but found out that she was already a woman, he would feel a sense of pity. "You also came to collect money?" Zhou Hao asked her with a smile. She smiled and nodded, still calm and elegant. Zhou Hao's gaze fell on the sapphire necklace around her neck. It was a thin platinum chain. The shape of the sapphire was very special. It looked like a teardrop, like a beautiful blue teardrop. Furthermore, although this sapphire was only the size of a pinky, it was dazzling. If one paid close attention, one would feel as if there was another small universe contained within it. What a beautiful sapphire necklace. It must have been made by a master. Zhou Hao couldn't help but praise. When the girl heard Zhou Hao praise her necklace, her face revealed a joyful expression, even more than praising her own beauty. She smiled and said, "This is a token of love that my father gave to my mother many years ago. Later, my mother gave it to me." Zhou Hao listened to her gentle voice, which was as comforting as the spring breeze. He smiled. "Your mother must love you very much. She gave you the token of love that your father gave her." "Yes, my mother loves me." A hint of loneliness suddenly appeared between her eyebrows. "But she's already gone." It turned out that her mother had passed away. Zhou Hao said apologetically, "I am sorry." She smiled slightly. "It's nothing. It has been many years." At that moment, the office door opened. A man and a woman in the uniform of Hoofing Bank walked out. The woman was the manager who had received Zhou Hao earlier. They were all holding a stack of new notes with seals on them. The man walked to the woman beside Zhou Hao and handed the stack of notes, worth 100,000 Hong Kong dollars to her. "Mrs. Su, this is the money you want to withdraw." "Okay, thank you." Mrs. Su took the 100,000 Hong Kong dollars and placed it in the bag beside her. The female manager also gave a stack of 100,000 Hong Kong dollars bills to Zhou Hao. "Mr. Zhou, this is your money." After taking the money, Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su stood up together. The male and female manager also personally sent them out of the VIP room. After coming out, Zhou Hao saw that there were still people queuing outside to do business. He put on his cap and sunglasses again and smiled at the manager beside him. "There are so many customers in your bank today. It would be terrible if a robber broke in and robbed us." As soon as he finished speaking, before the female manager could reply, she saw 5 figures rushing in from the bank's main entrance. Upon closer inspection, she discovered that these 5 people were all wearing masks, only revealing their eyes and mouths. Moreover, they all had pistols or AK-47 automatic rifles in their hands, and their other hand was holding a travel bag. These 5 people were clearly bandits. After they entered, the leading man first used the AK-47 automatic rifle in his hand to shatter the few electronic eyes on the wall. Then, he shouted at the people in the bank, "All of you, stay down and don't move. Robbery." The 2 security guards behind the gate had just touched the shotgun on their backs when 2 robbers pointed their pistols at them. One of the robbers even said, "Brother, don't be rash. You're just working. There's no need to throw your lives away." Hearing the robbers' words and seeing the powerful automatic rifles in their hands, the 2 security guards obediently put the shotgun on the ground and raised their hands. Zhou Hao looked at the 5 people in shock and thought, "It can't be. I'm just jinxing?" While Zhou Hao did not know whether to laugh or cry, the people in the bank were already shouting loudly in shock. "Squat down. Don't move. Hands on your head." The leader of the robbers fired a few more shots at the ceiling. When everyone heard the gunshots, they immediately quieted down and didn't dare to make a sound. They suppressed the robbers' words and obediently held their heads with both hands as they squatted down. The 2 bank managers beside Zhou Hao, as well as Mrs. Su, also immediately squatted down. Their faces were somewhat flustered. At this moment, Mrs. Su, who had already squatted down, gently pulled Zhou Hao's pants. Only then did Zhou Hao realize that in the entire bank, besides the 5 robbers, he was the only one standing. When the bandit leader saw that Zhou Hao was still standing, he immediately lifted the AK-47 automatic rifle and pointed at Zhou Hao. "F***CKU, why aren't you squatting down for me? Do you want to eat bullets?" Hearing the bandit leader insult him so violently, Zhou Hao wanted to rush over and smash his chin. Zhou Hao was invulnerable to weapons. Even if the AK-47 was powerful, it wouldn't be able to hurt Zhou Hao. Furthermore, with Zhou Hao's skills, subduing these 5 people was as easy as flipping his palm. But there were still many ordinary people around. If these robbers were to make trouble, they would probably hurt the innocent. At this time, Mrs. Su pulled Zhou Hao's pants again. When he looked down and saw Mrs. Su's worried and anxious expression, Zhou Hao knew that she was worried about him and could not bear to make her anxious, so he fiercely looked at the bandit leader. After a glance, he slowly squatted down. "Why don't you squat down? Those bandits kill without blinking." Mrs. Su said to Zhou Hao, "Didn't you see the news? Last week, there was also a robbery in the bank. A bank security guard was killed by AK-47. It should be this group of people." "Thank you. I was so scared just now," Zhou Hao said. When he heard Mrs. Su mention it, he also remembered that the news had reported that there was a robbery in the bank last week. There were also 5 robbers who robbed the bank of more than 30 million Hong Kong dollars cash and killed the bank security guard. This robbery shook the entire Hong Kong, especially the weapons in the robbers' hands. They committed the crime very quickly and escaped before the police arrived. After more than a week, the police could not find them. The police also found out that these robbers should have come from the country, which was commonly known as provincial port flag soldiers. In the 1990s, some people from China smuggled into Hong Kong, using powerful weapons such as AK-47 to rob banks or jewelry stores, especially on the streets of Hong Kong. They fought with the police without restraint and treated human lives like grass, causing the people of Hong Kong to panic. At this time, 4 of the robbers walked to the 4 service windows in the bank and said to the staff behind them, "Hurry up and take out all the money, or I will kill these people outside." The windows of the bank were bulletproof glass of high quality. Even AK-47 was hard to penetrate, so the staff inside were very safe. So these robbers used the customers outside as a threat. If the people inside refused to pay and killed the customers outside, then even the pressure of public opinion would be unbearable. The staff behind the bulletproof glass nervously took out a stack of cash. The 4 robbers skillfully and quickly stuffed the stack of cash into the travel bag. As for the bandit leader, he looked closely at the 2 security guards and the guests in the lobby. He also looked at the watch on his wrist from time to time and shouted at the 4 robbers, "Hurry, hurry, the police will be here in 2 minutes." Hearing his shout, Zhou Hao, who was squatting beside Mrs. Su, felt a chill in his heart. These robbers actually knew how long it would take for the police to arrive. Obviously, they had made a thorough plan before this robbery. This bandit leader should know that the bank staff had already pressed the alarm and informed the police, but he was not afraid, because he had planned to escape before the police arrived. "These guys should have been here before to investigate," Zhou Hao said to Mrs. Su, who was beside him. Mrs. Su squatted beside Zhou Hao. She looked a little uneasy. After all, this was the first time she had encountered such a thing. In particular, The criminals who had robbed a bank and killed a security guard last week had also felt the threat of their lives. Hearing Zhou Hao's words, she said softly, "These people should only want money. As long as we don't anger them, they won't kill anyone. So you don't have to be afraid." Zhou Hao was a little surprised when he heard her. Even though Mrs. Su was also afraid, she could still remain calm and even comfort him. She was quite strong. At the same time, due to her nervousness, a thin layer of sweat appeared on Mrs. Su's neck. Zhou Hao, who was beside her, inadvertently saw her snow-white and sparkling neck, and his heart could not help but tremble. Especially after sweating, Mrs. Su's body fragrance also seemed to have become a little stronger, and it really attracted people's imagination. What's wrong? Because Zhou Hao still wore sunglasses, Mrs. Su could not see his eyes, but she also noticed that he was distracted, so she asked softly, "Oh, nothing." Zhou Hao quickly looked back. He used his eyes to blaspheme a married woman, but it was a bit rude. He turned to look at the robbers who were busy snatching the money. Zhou Hao also guessed that they would leave after taking the money. If no one was killed, Zhou Hao did not need to do anything. Although he was powerful in martial arts, it was the police's business to arrest the criminals. "All right, it's almost time. Let's go," the leader of the bandits shouted. The four robbers standing in front of the window immediately pulled the zipper of their travel bags. They did not miss the money that they did not have time to take away, because they didn't want to fall into the hands of the police because of the money. This also showed that they were very efficient at doing things. However, when the five robbers were about to leave the bank, an alarm suddenly came from outside. Zhou Hao also saw a car lying horizontally outside the bank's entrance. There was a police light on the roof of the car. The four policemen in plain clothes also quickly got out of the car and walked towards the bank. However, after a few steps, the bandit leader who had not left the bank hall suddenly fired at them with the AK-47. Pew! 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 The muzzle of the AK-47 in the bandit leader's hand shot out a tongue of flame and a violent gunshot. When the plainclothes police saw the bandit leader pick up the gun, they immediately dodged to the sides, so the bullets did not hit them. When the pedestrians on the street heard the gunshots, they immediately squatted to dodge and ran in all directions, but no one was injured. Zhou Hao could not help but curse. Mrs. Su, who was beside him, thought that something was wrong with him and asked nervously, "What's wrong?" Zhou Hao's face showed a very pained expression. He said to Mrs. Su, "That guy's bullets all hit my car." It turned out that the bullets from the bandit leader did not hit anyone, but most of them hit the cars parked by the roadside. Among them, Zhou Hao's Porsche was the most seriously damaged. The windows and windshield were all broken, and the whole car was like a hornet's nest. It was no wonder that Zhou Hao parked the car right opposite the bank's entrance. Seeing Zhou Hao gnashing his teeth in anger, even in this kind of critical situation, Mrs. Su couldn't help but laugh. Instantly, it was as eye-catching as a blooming flower, making Zhou Hao stunned. He couldn't help but have a thought. If he could make her laugh, it would be worth it even if he blew up the Porsche outside. Seeing Zhou Hao looking at her in a daze, Mrs. Su's face was a little red. She slightly turned her face away, but still comforted Zhou Hao. "Actually, you don't have to worry. The insurance company will compensate you." Although that is the case, seeing your own car being tortured like this, you always feel uncomfortable in your heart, Zhou Hao said. While the two of them were chatting in low voices, the others were very nervous when they saw the fierce bandits and the police fighting. Some of them even hated the police because if they had not come, those bandits would have left by now, and they would be much safer. Although it was a bit selfish to think that way, when it involved their own safety, it was not up to them to not be selfish. After the bandit leader fired a round, he immediately pointed at the two bank security guards and shouted, "Quickly pull down the iron fence. Don't let those police come in." Under the threat of those robbers, the two security guards did not dare to disobey and quickly pulled down the iron fence in the bank. The bandit leader gritted his teeth and said, "How can these policemen be so fast? This place and the nearest police station clearly have a 5-minute drive. I even specially chose to take action when I was busy. It's impossible for them to arrive so quickly." A companion behind him said, "Big brother, I think these plainclothes should be nearby. They rushed over when they received the news." This speculation was reasonable. The bandit leader stomped his foot hard. "Damn it, I never thought of this. Big brother, what should we do now?" Another robber asked. The bandit leader narrowed his eyes and said, "The firepower in our hands is very fierce. They only have a few people, so they don't dare to charge in. However, the other policemen will be here soon. Moreover, they know that we did the case last week, so they should call the Flying Tigers over as well. At that time, it will be very difficult to escape." As soon as he finished speaking, the sound of police sirens could be heard from outside. Many police officers were also seen surrounding the bank entrance. "Big brother, this bank has a back door. Let's go from there," one of the robbers said. The leader of the robbers shook his head. "It won't work. Those policemen should have blocked the exit of the entire building. If we go there like this, we will be walking into a trap. Then what should we do? Humph. There are so many people here as hostages. Even if we die, we can still drag a few down with us. What's there to be afraid of?" The bandit leader's eyes shot out two rays of fierce light, and his entire person was filled with killing intent. Influenced by him, the rest of the people revealed ferocious expressions. "Yes, even if I die, I will drag a few of them down with me." When the citizens in the bank hall heard their words, they subconsciously backed away. "Let's capture a few people and use them as shields first, in case those Flying Tiger Squad snipers attack us." The leader of the bandits was very astute. The other four immediately walked towards the townsfolk who were squatting on the ground. The townsfolk also retreated. "Why are you hiding? Who would have survived in the past? 18 years later, wouldn't you be another hero?" A robber sneered and picked up a thin and weak young man in a suit and glasses. The other robber walked towards Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su. His eyes were sharp. He immediately noticed Mrs. Su's unusual temperament and determined that she was not rich, but expensive. She was very suitable to be a hostage. So he walked over and grabbed Mrs. Su's hand to pull her up. Mrs. Su cried out in surprise. At the same time, she subconsciously looked at Zhou Hao for help. In fact, she also knew that in front of these bandits with guns, it was very difficult for an ordinary person like Zhou Hao to do anything to help her. But in the face of danger, no one would let go of any life-saving straw, even if it was in vain. Moreover, in such a critical situation, everyone's first choice was to protect themselves first. Zhou Hao was not obligated to take the risk for himself, so Mrs. Su did not want to implicate Zhou Hao. She saw the complicated look in Mrs. Su's eyes when she asked him for help but did not want him to take risks for her. Zhou Hao immediately stood up and shouted at the bandit who pulled Mrs. Su, "Hey, stop right there." The criminal seemed to not think that someone would dare to speak to him like this. He turned around and looked at Zhou Hao in shock. Mrs. Su looked at Zhou Hao with surprise and worry, as if she did not think that Zhou Hao would really help her. Zhou Hao took off his sunglasses and gave Mrs. Su a reassuring look. He then said to the criminal, "Take a weak girl as a hostage. Are you still a man? Whether I am a man or not is none of your business." The criminal was furious. He raised the gun in his hand and pointed it at Zhou Hao. "You brat, you want to be a hero and save the beauty? Aren't you afraid of taking a few bullets from me?" Zhou Hao smiled. "Brother, I see that you have the courage to rob a bank. Even if you see the police, you are not afraid at all. You should be very heroic. But to use such a woman as a hostage, it is not a man's doing. How about this? I'll exchange with her. You can use me as a hostage. There's no need to make things difficult for a woman." Mrs. Su was touched when she heard that Zhou Hao wanted to trade with her. She never thought that Zhou Hao would be willing to put her in danger just to save her. She wasn't a selfish person. She immediately said to Zhou Hao, Mr. Zhou, you don't need to do this. We just met. I can't drag you into this." She still did not know Zhou Hao's name, but she remembered that the female manager of the bank had called Zhou Hao Mr. Zhou. Only then did she know his surname was Zhou. Zhou Hao smiled faintly and said, "If I just watch you being taken as a hostage without doing anything, I will never feel at ease for the rest of my life." He looked at the criminal who was still holding Mrs. Su's hand. "Brother, how about it? I will be your hostage on her behalf." F***CKU. I hate people like you who pretend to be cool all day long," the criminal said fiercely. He raised his gun and was about to give Zhou Hao a bullet. However, he heard the bandit leader shout, "Anyo, don't shoot first. Since he wants to be a hero, let's fulfill his wish." He looked at Zhou Hao and said with a cold smile, "I think his clothes are not cheap. He should be quite rich. Let him be our hostage. However, we will not let this woman go. Since you guys are flirting with each other like this, I might as well let you guys be a couple with the same life." Zhou Hao frowned. He didn't expect that this bandit would also capture him and Mrs. Su as hostages. Another bandit quickly walked over and grabbed Zhou Hao's hand. At the same time, he gloated and laughed. "You want to be a hero so badly, right? You are lucky. We will let you be enough this time." After saying that, he and his companions brought Mrs. Su and Zhou Hao to the bandit leader's side. Mrs. Su did not expect this result. She guiltily said to Zhou Hao, "Sorry, I implicated you." Zhou Hao shrugged his shoulders and said with a relaxed expression, "Forget it. It is a blessing, not a disaster." A disaster cannot be avoided. Mrs. Su thought that Zhou Hao was pretending to be relaxed to comfort her and felt even more touched in her heart. Including Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su, these criminals caught a total of 5 hostages and blocked in front of them, in case the Flying Tiger Squad snipers outside dealt with them. As for the other citizens, they were still squatting on the other side of the hall, acting as the reserve hostages of these criminals at any time. Mrs. Su was caught in front of the bandit leader as a shield. When the bandit leader saw Mrs. Su's noble and beautiful appearance, he laughed loudly and said, F***CKU. Why are you so beautiful? If it wasn't for the critical situation right now, I would definitely F***CKU for 300 to 400 rounds, and let you see how powerful I am. F***CK. What a delicate skin. You must have eaten a lot of tonics. I heard that rich people like you use milk to bathe every day. F***CK your grandma. What AF** King Sin. After saying that, he even stretched out his hand towards Mrs. Su, wanting to molest this beauty with a noble temperament and beautiful appearance. Zhou Hao immediately said, brother, if you are a man, then don't bully women. What kind of man is this? Yo, you are quite good at putting on an act. The bandit leader turned around and looked at Zhou Hao with interest. He suddenly raised the automatic rifle in his hand and hit Zhou Hao's face with the wooden butt. Zhou Hao could have easily avoided it, but in order to not make them doubt him, he did not move and let the gun hit his face. However, his body could not even be hurt by bullets, so he did not bleed at all. When the bandit leader saw that Zhou Hao did not even make a sound, he said in surprise, Huh? I didn't expect you to be so tough. Humph. Humph. Then let me see if it's your neck that's hard or my bullet that's hard. As he spoke, he raised his automatic rifle and aimed it at Zhou Hao's face. No. Mrs. Su quickly shouted. The bandit leader put down his gun and turned to look at Mrs. Su. You care so much about him. Could he be your husband? He doesn't look like one. Don't tell me you two are adulterers. Hee. Rich people like to play with dong dong. At this time, his gaze landed on the sapphire necklace under Mrs. Su's neck. This necklace looks pretty. It's not bad to give it to my mother. Then he reached out and grabbed Mrs. Su's sapphire necklace. He pulled it off before Mrs. Su could stop him. Give it back to me. Mrs. Su shouted anxiously. Damn it, do you want to die or this necklace? The bandit leader shouted at her. Listen up, the people inside are surrounded. Put down your weapons and surrender. At this moment, a voice came from outside through the speaker. It was obviously the police. The bandit leader snorted coldly and grabbed Mrs. Su's neck with one hand. He pushed her to the front of the iron fence and shouted at the police outside. We have hostages. Get out of this street and prepare a gas truck for me. Let us get out of here, or I'll kill a hostage every 5 minutes. Don't F***King think that I'm talking nonsense. After saying that, he didn't even look at the townsfolk who were shooting at the hall with their automatic rifles. Immediately, 2 of the townsfolk fell into a pool of blood. Even Zhou Hao gasped when he saw this. These robbers were too fierce and cruel. They really killed without blinking their eyes. At the same time, they had made up their mind not to let them escape. Mrs. Su was still in the hands of the bandit leader. Zhou Hao was deeply afraid that he would hurt Mrs. Su, so he did not act rashly. Instead, he endured it and waited for an opportunity. When the policeman outside saw that these robbers really dared to kill the hostages, the commander hurriedly said, We can agree to your request. Please don't hurt the hostages. Then, he hurriedly got his hands off the car to prepare the car. At the same time, he got people to drive away the reporters who were squeezing in without knowing the danger, because he had never seen the fierceness and cruelty of these criminals before. The people in the bank hall were almost scared out of their wits. They did not expect that those bandits would really kill people just like that. Their lives were under an unprecedented threat. Many people cried. It was also at this moment that they truly felt the preciousness of life. They also thought of their loved ones and regretted not having the time to accompany them. Mrs. Su was kidnapped by the bandit leader. She was also very afraid in her heart, and her face was very pale. But she was still considered strong. She pursed her lips and did not say anything. She did not say anything and did not cry like the others. She did not even cry. Because the police were afraid that the robbers would hurt the hostages, a van filled with oil was prepared within 5 minutes and parked outside the bank. Anyo, you guys go up first. Big Head, follow me to the back. The bandit leader said to his subordinate. 3 of the bandits took the traveling bags filled with money and boarded the van. The police outside had already retreated to both sides of the street and the end of the street, not daring to act rashly. As for Big Head, he was the robber who held Zhou Hao hostage. Big brother, that's enough. All of you, come up. The robber, who was already sitting in the driver's seat, said to the bandit leader. The bandit leader nodded and pushed Mrs. Sue to take a step forward. We will keep these two people to prevent the police from catching up. After saying that, he pushed Mrs. Sue towards the van outside, and Big Head, who was holding Zhou Hao hostage, followed behind. Zhou Hao saw that the bandit's head was facing him, and the few of them had already walked to the entrance of the bank. There was already a distance between them and the hostages in the hall. Zhou Hao suddenly turned around and a fist landed on the chin of Big Head behind him, directly shattering his chin. Big Head also flew out and lost consciousness in the air. The force of Zhou Hao's punch penetrated through Big Head's head and killed him on the spot. When the three bandits in the van saw this sudden change, they all raised their guns at the same time. As for the bandit leader, since his back was facing Zhou Hao, he didn't know what happened behind him. Zhou Hao was afraid that the three bandits in the van would hurt Mrs. Sue, who was in front of him. He raised his hands and three hidden weapons flew out. They were 2 coins and a piece of paper worth 1,000 yuan. The 2 coins shot out like 2 silver lights and instantly sank into the foreheads of the 2 criminals in the back seat of the van. The $1,000 note slid across the neck of the criminal in the driver's seat like a flying knife and instantly cut off his throat and carotid artery. The 3 criminals immediately lost their ability to move and their lives were in danger. The bandit leader finally noticed the abnormality and subconsciously turned around. At the same time, the gun in his hand was pointed at Mrs. Sue's temple. When he turned around, he saw Zhou Hao fiercely rushing towards him. He was about to raise the gun and aim at him. However, he suddenly saw a huge ferocious tiger behind Zhou Hao. It was opening its bloody mouth and a pair of silver-sharp claws and pouncing at him. He could even hear the deafening tiger roar that made people shiver. Zhou Hao was afraid that the bandit would shoot Mrs. Sue in panic, so he immediately used the realm of materializing to calm the bandit's mind. Furthermore, since Zhou Hao was targeting the bandit, he was the only one who could see the fierce tiger behind Zhou Hao. Mrs. Sue could not see it at all. Taking advantage of the moment when the bandit leader was distracted and his movements were sluggish, Zhou Hao had already pounced in front of him. He shot down the automatic rifle in his hand with one hand and pulled Mrs. Sue, who was still held hostage by him, over at the same time. Then, he raised his foot abruptly. It landed heavily on his abdomen. Under the tremendous force, the bandit's head was sent flying away by Zhou Hao's kick and crashed into the van behind him. This series of events only lasted for 2 to 3 seconds. Mrs. Sue suddenly turned from the bandit leader to Zhou Hao's arms. She could not react herself. When she came back to her senses, she saw that the 5 bandits had all fallen. Besides the bandit leader, the other 3 bandits in the van had died in a terrifying manner. Mrs. Sue accidentally saw it and was immediately shocked. Her face turned pale, and she instinctively grabbed Zhou Hao's clothes with both hands. As for the bandit leader, although he had been kicked by Zhou Hao had intentionally spared his life for the police to investigate. Therefore, he had only been seriously injured and unconscious, and had not died. Zhou Hao knew that women could not see these things, so he used his hand to block in front of her. He comforted her softly. "Don't be afraid, it's fine now." Mrs. Sue felt a sense of security when she heard Zhou Hao's soft voice. She felt a little relieved in her heart. At the same time, she remembered the situation just now. She knew that it was Zhou Hao who saved her, although she did not see the process clearly. But she thought that Zhou Hao was able to beat down these 5 bandits with his strength alone. His skills were even stronger than those of the Flying Tigers squad. She looked up at Zhou Hao. "You know martial arts?" Zhou Hao scratched his head. "I learned a little. Actually, I was also very scared just now. But I think that if these robbers take us away, it will be even more dangerous, so I will give it a try." Mrs. Sue heard this and said in a somewhat reproachful manner, "Why are you so impulsive? You have to know that each of them has a gun. What if they are injured?" "Haha, don't worry about that. Aren't we all fine now?" Zhou Hao said with a smile. Mrs. Sue shook her head when she saw Zhou Hao's bright and childish smile. She couldn't help but smile gently. "Ah, sorry." At this time, Mrs. Sue found that she was still in Zhou Hao's arms. She was a married woman. Although the situation was critical just now, it was still not appropriate. So her face turned red, and she immediately gently pushed Zhou Hao away. However, although she pushed Zhou Hao away, her mind still retained the sense of security she felt when she was in Zhou Hao's arms. Zhou Hao also felt some regret in his heart because he could feel Mrs. Sue's soft and bouncy body when he was hugging her just now. Especially the natural reflection of her body. It was even more refreshing. At this time, the police who had been threatened by the robbers and retreated to the end of the street had rushed over. The citizens in the bank hall were still squatting because they had been greatly frightened just now. So even though the criminals had fallen, they still did not dare to get up. A few policemen surrounded Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su. Zhou Hao also saw that the person in the lead had a very high rank. It should be the police officer or the chief police officer. They knew Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su were hostages. In the distance just now, although they did not see Zhou Hao releasing hidden weapons, they also saw Zhou Hao send Big Head flying with a punch and kick away the bandit leader. Are you guys all right? The police officer asked Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su. Suddenly, he looked at Mrs. Su. Huh, aren't you Mrs. Su? You're here too? Mrs. Su also recognized him and nodded slightly to greet. Officer O, hello? She sighed. I originally came to the bank to withdraw money. I didn't expect to encounter such a thing. Officer O carefully looked at Mrs. Su and confirmed that she was not injured before heaving a sigh of relief. God bless. Mrs. Su, you are not injured. Otherwise, old Mr. Su and old Mr. He will not forgive me. Officer O, you are being too serious. After all, no one would want such a thing to happen. Mrs. Su said gently. Officer O smiled and nodded. The two citizens who were killed by the bandit leader and the others who were frightened were immediately arranged. After making the arrangements, Officer O looked at Zhou Hao. Sir, you were the one who subdued those criminals just now, right? As soon as he finished speaking, the police who inspected the criminals walked over. Sir, those 5 are 5 criminals, except for the leader. The other 4 are all dead. Dead? Officer O widened his eyes. He had just thought that those criminals were just knocked out by Zhou Hao, but he did not expect that only one of them was left alive. Do you know how dangerous it was just now? Officer O suddenly scolded Zhou Hao. Those robbers all have guns. What if they hurt someone else? Can you bear it? Zhou Hao heard Officer O say it in a dignified manner, as if he was worried about the safety of the citizens. But Zhou Hao knew that, in fact, the one who was the most nervous was Mrs. Su, because in that situation just now, Mrs. Su was the most dangerous. From this, it could be seen that Mrs. Su's identity was definitely not simple. Facing Officer O's reprimand, Zhou Hao did not say anything, because he knew that to such a person, he should tell him. It was impossible to reason with him. Unless he knew that his identity wasn't simple, he would think that he was just a small citizen and would release his authority without any restraint. Officer O, you can't blame Mr. Zhou for this. He only did this to save me. Mrs. Su hurriedly defended Zhou Hao by the side. Hearing Mrs. Su's words, Officer O's expression immediately eased up. Mrs. Su, even though it is so, but he's not a police officer after all. If there is a mishap, it will implicate you and cause you to be injured. Then what should we do? Mrs. Su shook her head and did not say anything. She gave Zhou Hao an apologetic look. After that, Zhou Hao and Mrs. Su both sat in the police car and wanted to go to the police station to take a statement. At this time, the flying tigers that were originally arranged to hide in the surroundings also returned. Officer O, who was about to get into the car, happened to hear the sniper talking to the captain of the Flying Tiger Squad. Boss, I saw the ambush on the rooftop of the opposite building just now. That guy who was originally held hostage was so powerful. He sent the criminal behind him flying with one punch. Then, he sent out some unknown hidden weapons and killed the 3 criminals in the van. Even the bandit leader was kicked into the van by him. That guy's close combat was too powerful. He was much stronger than our coach. I think he should be the legendary martial arts masters. Officer O quickly came over and asked, You said you saw it? That guy even used a hidden weapon? The sniper saluted Officer O and nodded. Yeah, I was on the rooftop of the opposite building just now. I used my scope to aim at those criminals, so I saw them all. However, the speed of that guy's hidden weapon was too fast. I also couldn't see clearly what kind of hidden weapon it was. Who is this guy? It is too dangerous to beat 4 of the 5 bandits to death and 1 injured with his bare hands. If he does anything evil, it will be a huge threat to society. Officer O said, No, I have to go back quickly and take a look at that guy. After saying that, he immediately got into the car and rushed back to the police station. Sitting in the police car with Mrs. Su, Zhou Hao called Su Lin. Su Lin, I have some trouble. I'm afraid I can't go to the airport to pick up Xiaobing. Can you go and pick her up for me? When Su Lin heard that Zhou Hao was in trouble, she immediately asked nervously what happened to him. Zhou Hao did not plan to hide it from her and told her about the matter at the bank. You are in the Hufeng Bank? Su Lin asked in surprise. We just received news that there was a robbery at the Hufeng Bank. The reporters from the Asia Television Limited have rushed over. So you were there. You were not captured by the reporters, right? I don't think so. Those reporters were driven far away. They shouldn't have captured me. Zhou Hao said. Also, those electronic eyes of the bank were broken by the robbers. They didn't record me. Later, I will tell Uncle Pei to let the police announce that those criminals were killed by the police. It will not involve me. After all, Zhou Hao had killed and wounded 4 of the 5 bandits with his bare hands. If it was announced, it would be too shocking. In fact, many martial arts experts were unwilling to reveal their martial arts in front of ordinary people. Therefore, the general public thought that those martial arts only existed in novels, movies, and other artistic works. After putting down the phone, Zhou Hao smiled bitterly to Mrs. Su, who was beside him, and said, "Originally, I wanted to go to that butterfly love flower to buy some flowers and then go to the airport to pick up people. I didn't expect to encounter such a misfortune." So you were planning to go to butterfly love flower to buy flowers? Mrs. Su looked at Zhou Hao in surprise. That butterfly love flower was opened by me. I went to the bank to get money just now to pay the supplier. Zhou Hao was also very surprised when he heard Mrs. Su's words. He thought that this was too much of a coincidence. The last time they went to butterfly love flower, the 2 waiters in the flower shop praised the lady boss and said that her lady boss was very skillful. Zhou Hao still remembered the 2 waiters sighing with emotion. They said that the lady boss was good in everything, but that she did not marry well. He looked at the elegant and quiet Mrs. Su beside him. It turned out that she was the lady boss of the butterfly love flower. If you want to buy flowers, go to the airport to pick up someone. That person should be your girlfriend, right? Mrs. Su smiled at Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao smiled and nodded, then said to Mrs. Su, "Just now I saw that Officer O seemed to be very respectful to you." He was indirectly asking about Mrs. Su's identity. Mrs. Su naturally knew what Zhou Hao meant. A trace of worry flashed across her eyes. She gently turned her head to look out the window. "I am the wife of Su family." Su family? Zhou Hao was puzzled. He didn't know which Su family this Su family was. "My husband is Su Jinsheng." Mrs. Su sighed softly. Zhou Hao was completely stunned when he heard Mrs. Su say her husband was Su Jinsheng. Because he could not take this elegant and beautiful Mrs. Su. He was connected to the ignorant and useless Su Jinsheng, who was a playboy. Suddenly, Zhou Hao remembered that he had read about Su Jinsheng in his previous life. He had divorced his first wife in 2,000 years. After that, he married Li Jessen, who was known as the most beautiful female star in history. That incident was very sensational in Hong Kong at that time, so Zhou Hao also knew about it. Zhou Hao remembered that Su Jinsheng's first wife seemed to be the daughter of He Hongxin, who was called Gambling King. Besides, Zhou Hao had also heard Officer O say that if something happened to Mrs. Su, both Mr. Su and Mr. He would be worried. That old man, he must be He Hongxin. "Then you are?" Zhou Hao asked Mrs. Su. Mrs. Su turned her head to look at Zhou Hao. "My full name is Su Hixuan." Zhou Hao nodded slightly. This Mrs. Su's original name should be He Xuan. After marrying Su Jinsheng, she would have to add her husband's surname. However, when he thought of Su Jinsheng's character, Zhou Hao really felt pity for He Xuan. This was a typical example of flowers being planted on cow dung. Furthermore, Su Jinsheng also abandoned He Xuan in the end and fell in love with that Li Jessen. He noticed that when He Xuan said that her husband was Su Jinsheng, there was clearly a trace of sorrow between her brows, so the relationship between her and Su Jinsheng was clearly not good. However, Zhou Hao also understood that Su family was one of the few wealthy families in Hong Kong, and He Hongxin was also the richest man in Macau. The union of these 2 families would definitely involve a huge amount of benefits and cooperation, and He Xuan was obviously the victim of the cooperation between He Hongxin and Su Jinsheng's father, Su Jiaming. At this moment, He Xuan subconsciously touched the wedding ring on her right ring finger, and her expression was somewhat blank. Zhou Hao sighed in his heart. In ancient times, it was as deep as the ocean, but now, it was as deep as the ocean when one entered a rich family. Furthermore, He Xuan came from a rich family. Although to outsiders, she had enjoyed all the wealth in the world, in reality, the bitterness and suffering were incomprehensible to others. Very quickly, they were sent to the police station. Because He Xuan's identity was unusual, and she was also here to assist in the investigation, the people in the police station were very polite to her. There was even a senior inspector who personally took a statement for her. However, their treatment of Zhou Hao was different. Once Zhou Hao arrived, they immediately arranged for Zhou Hao to come. He was in an isolated room. Not long after, Officer O came in with 2 of his subordinates. Seeing the serious expressions on their faces, Zhou Hao suddenly felt that they did not seem to be here to take a statement. Instead, they seemed to be here to interrogate the prisoner. Especially Police Officer O. He slammed the table in front of Zhou Hao the moment he entered. He said to Zhou Hao coldly, "Please show me your identification card." The other party was a police officer. Zhou Hao did not have any intention of making things difficult for them. He took out his ID and placed it on the table. Officer O took it over and saw Zhou Hao's identity card, which was an ID card from China and not from Hong Kong. He immediately frowned. From the mainland? Then he narrowed his eyes and looked at Zhou Hao. What are you doing in Hong Kong? Tourism, visiting relatives, or a one-way license? The so-called two-way license and one-way license were the Hong Kong and Macau permits. However, the two-way license was for those visitors who came to Hong Kong and Macau at the last minute. The time limit was usually around a few months. Once the time limit was over, they had to return to the mainland. The single certificate was given to those who had immigration quotas and were qualified to move to Hong Kong and Macau. It was also the green card in the impression of ordinary people. Many people who wanted to settle down in Hong Kong wanted this single certificate. And because there were some domestic women who had a double certificate and went to Hong Kong for prostitution, the domestic people who had a double certificate had a bad impression in the hearts of the Hong Kong residents. This was also a form of regional discrimination. However, Zhou Hao also despised these Hong Kong residents. This was because a few decades ago, they had also migrated from different parts of the country to Hong Kong. In fact, more than 90% of the people in Hong Kong were not the original residents. They had migrated from the country many years ago. Now, they were discriminating against the people in the country. There was also the suspicion of the Dianwang sect. At this moment, this officer O also had a deep hostility towards Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao was furious in his heart and said coldly, "What does the double certificate and the single certificate have to do with me taking your statement? Could it be that my statement is not trustworthy?" Zhou Hao spoke to him in such a tone. Officer O was angry as well. He slammed the table hard and said angrily, "Of course it has to do with them. Those bank robbers smuggled into Hong Kong from China. I suspect you have something to do with them. If I have something to do with them, why would I kill the four of them and leave one alive for your police to investigate?" Zhou Hao retorted without showing any weakness. "Maybe you saw that there was no way to escape, so you wanted to kill them to silence them. As for the bandit leader, you did not kill him because you made a mistake. Our police rushed over, and you did not dare to kill him openly again." Hearing Officer O's words, Zhou Hao did not get angry. Instead, he laughed. "I originally thought that only the police in the country had such powerful ability to distort black and white. I didn't expect that Hong Kong police are not bad." "What did you say? Are you saying that we wronged you?" Officer O snorted. "The preliminary autopsy report of the four robbers has been released. One of them was killed by you with one punch, and the other was killed by you using some unknown weapon. The other two were killed by coins piercing through their skulls." He narrowed his eyes and stared at Zhou Hao. "You monster! Who the hell are you? How can you be so cruel? Also, what is your purpose of coming to Hong Kong?" Zhou Hao did not answer Officer O's question. He just sat there with his arms crossed. Officer O became even angrier. "Damn it! You still dare to be so stubborn." Just as he was about to instruct the two subordinates behind him to teach Zhou Hao a lesson, the door of the room was suddenly pushed open. Officer O was just about to scold who broke in so rudely, but when he saw the person at the door, he immediately became mute. Because the person at the door was surprisingly the deputy director of the police department, Zhang Yingpei. Behind him were two middle-aged men wearing the same uniform, but judging from their uniforms, they were both chief police officers. When Officer O saw Zhang Yingpei suddenly appear, he was momentarily unable to react. It was only after a long while that he made a move. He immediately saluted Zhang Yingpei and shouted, "Bureau, Director, what's going on? I can hear you shouting outside too." Zhang Yingpei looked at Officer O with his hands behind his back. He saw Zhou Hao sitting in the room. He quickly walked in and asked Zhou Hao with concern, "Xiao Hao, are you all right? Did those robbers hurt you?" "Uncle Pei." Zhou Hao greeted Zhang Yingpei. "Uncle Pei, you don't have to worry. I'm fine." "That's good. I heard that you were taken hostage by those robbers. It scared your Aunt Jiaying and me." When Officer O saw that Zhou Hao and Zhang Yingpei had such a good relationship, Zhang Yingpei clearly saw Zhou Hao as his nephew. He could not help but be stunned. When he remembered how he had treated Zhou Hao just now, Officer O's back broke out in a layer of cold sweat. In fact, some of the police knew about the relationship between Zhou Hao and Zhang Yingpei. During Su Jinxing's yacht time, Zhang Minjing had personally gone to the police station to bail Zhou Hao out. However, it was only limited to a small number of police officers. After all, Zhang Yingpei did not want to use the excuse of favoritism, and Zhou Hao would not use Zhang Yingpei's name to swindle people. Therefore, most of the people, including Police Officer O, did not know about the deep relationship between Zhou Hao and Zhang Yingpei. "I am fine, but this Officer O said that I have something to do with that group of robbers." Zhou Hao sneered and looked at Officer O on the other side. Zhang Yingpei turned around and looked at Officer O. What's going on? This time it's because Xiao Hao helped to suppress those robbers so that they don't lose more lives and property. Why do you say Xiao Hao has something to do with those people? Officer O trembled and hurriedly explained. Because, Director Zhang, this Mr. Zhou seems to know martial arts. Furthermore, his methods are too cruel. I'm afraid that he will cause danger to ordinary citizens. Nonsense. Zhang Yingpei angrily interrupted Officer O's words. Xiao Hao did indeed learn martial arts, but just because of this, will it cause danger to society and citizens? Aren't all of us police officers equipped with guns? This is also dangerous to ordinary people. Could it be that our police force will threaten the safety of the public? Officer O was rendered speechless by Zhang Yingpei's retort. Zhang Yingpei then said, "You don't have to take responsibility for this case. I am very suspicious of your professional integrity now. I will let the Internal Investigation Department review your moral integrity. During this period of time, you will be suspended." Director Zhang, this. Officer O's face turned pale. He still wanted to plead with Zhang Yingpei. However, Zhang Yingpei turned his head and did not even look at him. Get out. Seeing Zhang Yingpei's determination, Officer O also knew that it was difficult to save the situation. He could only leave the room dejectedly. Zhou Hao also said to Zhang Yingpei at this time, although they subdued these criminals in the end, they also killed 2 citizens. I feel very guilty that I was unable to save those 2 people. Zhou Hao didn't expect that the bandit would kill someone just to establish his authority with the police. Moreover, if Zhou Hao made a move at that time, the other hostages would also be in danger. Therefore, the death of the 2 innocent civilians really made people sad. Zhang Yingpei also knew that Zhou Hao was not a police officer, so he did not have any obligation to fight with those criminals. Now that Zhou Hao had subdued 5 criminals, it was also a heroic performance. When Officer O treated Zhou Hao like this just now, even Zhang Yingpei felt angry. Zhou Hao said to Zhang Yingpei, "Uncle Pei, don't tell anyone that I did this. I don't want to cause another commotion. Just say that those criminals were killed by your police snipers." No problem. Zhang Yingpei suddenly smiled. It's easy to say. The song that you broadcasted live in Hong Kong last time, "Love Me Don't Leave." Your Aunt Jiaying likes it very much. She even wants to ask which girl you belong to is so blessed to be able to make you spend so much effort. Regarding this, Zhou Hao felt rather helpless. At that time, in order to keep Wang Shijuan's heart, Zhou Hao thought of such a method to express his feelings to Wang Shijuan in front of the entire Hong Kong citizens. And the commotion that was caused was also something that Zhou Hao did not expect. Now, Zhou Hao's song "Love Me Don't Go" had become popular in Hong Kong and even spread to Taiwan. It had also become a popular song that all major radio stations were fighting over. Many recording companies, including Sony and Globe, also wanted to buy the copyright of "Love Me Don't Go" from Polaris. Oh, right. Mrs. Su, is there anything wrong with her? Zhou Hao asked Zhang Yingpei. Mrs. Su? Zhang Yingpei only reacted after a while. Oh, you're talking about Su He Shuiyun, right? Seeing Zhou Hao nod his head, Zhang Yingpei said, I just want to take a look. It's nothing much. I'm just a little tired. I'm almost done recording the confession. Xiao Hao, you saved her this time. Su Jiaming might thank you, but you don't have to count on Su Jinsheng. Zhang Yingpei was well aware of the grudges between Su Jinsheng and Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao smiled. I didn't save her just to make that Su Jinsheng feel grateful to me. Oh right, Uncle Pei, this Mrs. Su, are you familiar with her? Zhang Yingpei shook his head. Not really. I only saw her a few times. They were all at charity parties. Her father is the gambling king, He Hongsen of Macau. He Hongsen. He. Back then, her wedding with Su Jinsheng was very grand. She held a banquet in the Peninsula Hotel for 3 days. It could be said to be a true wedding ceremony of the century. It seems to be in 1992. They have been married for 5 years. Zhou Hao nodded. But it is a pity that a girl like Mrs. Su is married to a second-generation ancestor like Su Jinsheng. Who says so? Zhang Yingpei agreed. I heard He Shuiyun is a graduate from the business management of Oxford University. She has both looks and talent. It's also because He Hongsen wants to marry Su Jiaming to form a marriage alliance with him and the sword in the sword. That's why he let He Shuiyun marry Su Jinsheng. She really is a flower stuck in cow dung. Zhou Hao shook his head. Zhang Yingpei looked at Zhou Hao suspiciously. Hey. That woman is a married woman. Furthermore, the Su family and He family are 2 big families in Hong Kong and Macau. Don't tell me you have some evil thoughts about them? If you anger the Su family and the He family, even I can't protect you. Unless you leave Hong Kong or hide in General Lu's place. Uncle Pei, who do you think I am? Zhou Hao rolled his eyes at Zhang Yingpei in dissatisfaction. I only pity He Shuiyun for marrying someone like Su Jinsheng. I don't have any other thoughts. Don't you know what kind of person you are? Zhang Yingpei looked at Zhou Hao with a smile. You are young, but you have guts. Last time Su Lin and Liang Xiaobing. We're not friends, are we? And the girl you wanted to keep this time. Hee hee. Are there not many girls by your side? Your Aunt Jiang wants to introduce you to a few more, but I already told her there's no need for that. Looking at Zhang Yingpei, who did not even look like a high-ranking police officer, Zhou Hao could only helplessly laugh bitterly. The two of them left the room and went to the office outside. Zhou Hao also saw that He Shuiyun had finished recording the confession. So Zhou Hao walked over and gave an item to He Shuiyun. Mrs. Su, this is your sapphire necklace. I just helped you get it from that robber and did not remember to return it to you. He Shuiyun was surprised to see the sapphire necklace her mother gave her. She quickly took it and held it in front of her chest with both hands. She said to Zhou Hao gratefully, Mr. Zhou, thank you so much. Not only did you save me, you also helped me get this necklace. Thank you so much. Zhou Hao smiled. You are welcome, but the chain of this necklace was broken by that guy. You need to repair it properly before you can wear it. Please, may I ask? At this time, a petite female police officer came in front of Zhou Hao and asked him shyly, Are you the gentleman who sang Love Me Don't Go before? Zhou Hao was stunned. He then realized that the male and female police officers in the office were looking at him, especially the female police officers. Their eyes were shining. Zhou Hao knew that after he took off his cap and sunglasses, these people would recognize him. Looking at the female police officers in front of him, who were looking at him with anticipation, Zhou Hao could not bear to deny it. Besides, it was useless to deny it now. He smiled bitterly and said, Yes, I am. Ah, I didn't think that I would actually be able to see the Piano Prince. The female police officer cheered, and the other female police officers in the office also gathered around, asking Zhou Hao to sign or even take a photo with him. Zhou Hao scratched his head and said, I don't deserve it. The publicly acknowledged Piano Prince is Richard Clayderman. I'm just joking around. I'm still very far away. I was still very far away. He dealt with these enthusiastic female police officers, sign and take a photo. But can you help me keep it a secret? Because I don't want others to know. Thus, Zhou Hao signed the signatures of these female police officers and took a photo with them. Mr. Zhou, can I ask you, who is the girl you were talking about? Has she returned to your side? The petite policewoman asked curiously. The rest of the people looked at Zhou Hao with anticipation. This was a question that many Hong Kong citizens wanted to know. No comment, really no comment, Zhou Hao said helplessly. In the end, these female police officers reluctantly left. Zhou Hao then let out a sigh of relief. Zhang Yingpei, who was next to him, looked at him with a smile. He Shuiyan also looked at Zhou Hao in surprise. I was wondering why you wore a hat and sunglasses when you went to the bank. I also felt that you had some familiarity with your face. I don't know where I've seen you before. So you're the one who sang Love Me Don't Go. I've also seen it on TV. Zhou Hao was a little embarrassed and said, Sorry about that. I only wore a hat and sunglasses to avoid that kind of situation. He Shuiyan covered her mouth and smiled, then said to Zhou Hao, Actually, I think your song, Love Me Don't Go, is very nice. The girlfriend you are going to pick up at the airport should be the girl you mentioned. She must have heard this song before coming back to Hong Kong. Regarding this question, Zhou Hao was really hard to answer. Could it be that he wanted to tell He Shuiyun that he was going to pick her up? It was not the same girl that he wanted to keep. Zhang Yingpei was also standing at the side, looking at Zhou Hao with some schadenfreude. Shuiyun. At this time, a hoarse male voice came from the other side. Upon hearing this voice, Zhou Hao saw He Shuiyun's expression change slightly and a trace of fear flashed across her eyes. He saw a middle-aged man in his 40s and 50s walk in with an assistant. His facial features were straight, and there was dignity between his brows. He had a medium build. He was wearing a very appropriate gray suit and looked very extraordinary. This is Su Jinsheng's father, Su Jiaming. He is also the chairman of the Sword in the Sword. Zhang Yingpei whispered in Zhou Hao's ear to remind him. He Shuiyun turned around and saw Su Jiaming walking towards her. Her body trembled slightly. Su Jiaming quickly walked towards He Shuiyun. He looked very anxious, but He Shuiyun slightly leaned to the side, as if she wanted to avoid Su Jiaming. At this time, Zhang Yingpei also went up and greeted Su Jiaming with a smile. Mr. Su, long time no see. Director Zhang. Su Jiaming saw He Shuiyun avoiding him and frowned slightly, but he still smiled and said to Zhang Yingpei, I didn't expect my family Shuiyun to encounter such a thing. I still have to thank your police. Only then will Shuiyun be fine. Mr. Su, I think you should thank Xiao Hao. It's all thanks to him that Shuiyan will be fine. Su Jiaming looked at Zhou Hao, who was behind Xing Yingpei, and Zhang Yingpei also introduced him. This is Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao. Su Jiaming was shocked for a second. Then he asked Zhou Hao, You are Zhou Hao? Before he returned to Hong Kong, he had gone to the central government with a group of merchants to meet the leaders. At that time, he had heard about the conflict between his son Su Jinsheng and Zhou Hao. At the same time, he had also heard that Zhao Rixin, the General Committee of the Political Bureau, had a godson called Zhou Hao. He was afraid that Zhou Hao in Hong Kong was Zhao Rixin's godson, so he had Su Jinsheng apologize to him when he was in Beijing. After returning to Hong Kong, Su Jiaming asked around and finally confirmed that the Zhou Hao who had a conflict with his son was Zhao Rixin's godson. After returning to Hong Kong from Beijing, Su Jiaming wanted to ask Zhou Hao to apologize to him personally. After meeting the leaders of the countries in Beijing, Su Jiaming and the other Hong Kong merchants finally knew what an official was. No matter how many years they had spent in the business world, the storms they had gone through were beyond the imagination of ordinary people. However, in front of the real leaders, they did not even dare to breathe loudly. Su Jiaming, who was able to walk around the ever-changing business world with ease, found that even if he had great achievements in business, as long as those above him wanted to deal with him, then his many years of accumulation would immediately be destroyed. Especially when he saw Zhao Rixin and felt the thick and intimidating majesty coming from him, he deeply understood that he couldn't afford to offend this high and mighty commissar. If he wanted to get rid of the pressure from these high and mighty commissar, he had to give up on the market in China and move to another country. Su Jiaming also knew that China was currently the largest and widest market in the world. Giving up on it was the same as giving up the best opportunity to develop. Therefore, after returning to Hong Kong, Su Jiaming first taught Su Jinsheng a lesson, then went around asking about Zhou Hao's whereabouts, wanting to personally apologize to him. However, Zhou Hao had already left Hong Kong and returned to Xiang City at that time, so Su Jiaming had no way to apologize to him even if he wanted to. Now, this young and handsome man who had saved his daughter-in-law was actually Zhou Hao. Su Jiaming was pleasantly surprised. He immediately walked towards Zhou Hao. Mr. Zhou? Hello. He had told me about you when I went to Beijing to see Councilman Zhao. Zhou Hao did not have a good impression of Su Jinsheng's father. As the saying goes, a son should never be taught to his father. It had nothing to do with his father that Su Jinsheng would become a second-generation ancestor. However, this was a personal subjective emotion. Zhou Hao naturally would not show it in front of everyone. Instead, he showed a friendly smile to Su Jiaming and said, Mr. Su, have you seen my godfather? The last time I went to Beijing to see him, I didn't hear him mention you. Zhou Hao's words sounded normal, but in the eyes of some people, he was mocking Su Jiaming. It didn't catch Zhao Rixin's attention. Who was Su Jiaming? He could naturally understand what Zhou Hao meant, but he was not an ordinary person after all. He would not express the anger in his heart. Instead, he said self-deprecatingly, I am just a filthy merchant. In the eyes of Councilman Zhao, I am just a nobody. I am insignificant and insignificant. Seeing Su Jiaming being so sophisticated, Zhou Hao thought to himself. When Su Jiaming was born, Su family was already a famous wealthy family in Hong Kong. Similarly, Su Jinsheng was born with a gold key, but Su Jinsheng was far worse than his father. At the same time, He Shuian heard Zhou Hao's name and showed a slightly surprised expression. Because of the conflict between Su Jinsheng and Zhou Hao, Su Jinsheng hated Zhou Hao to the bone, especially since Su Jiaming had taught him a lesson because of it. He Shuian had also heard Su Jinsheng mention Zhou Hao. Since meeting Zhou Hao today, she only knew that Zhou Hao's surname was Zhou. Now that she heard his full name, she was surprised. She also knew who her husband was. So she thought that Zhou Hao, who had a bad relationship with Su Jinsheng, was also an ignorant and incompetent second-generation ancestor. It was only when she saw him today that she realized that she was completely wrong. Mr. Zhou, earlier, I was ignorant and didn't recognize Mount Tai. I have offended you. I will apologize on his behalf. Su Jiaming smiled at Zhou Hao and said, Furthermore, you saved our family Shuyun today. How about this? I will treat you to a meal as thanks. How about it? Zhou Hao raised his hand and said, No need, Mr. Su. I still have something to do today. How about another day? When Su Jiaming heard this, he did not want to force Zhou Hao to not make him angry. He hurriedly said, All right. Mr. Zhou, you must remember that I still owe you a meal. This is my business card. Mr. Zhou, you just need to call the number on it, and you will be able to find me at any time. Su Jiaming also gave a simple and generous white business card to Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao nodded and put the business card away. Su Jiaming then said to He Shuiyun, let's go back. You have encountered such a thing today. You need to rest well. He Shuyan slightly lowered her head and did not look into Su Jiaming's eyes. She only said softly, I know, father-in-law. Then let's go. Mr. Zhou, Director Zhang, goodbye. Su Jiaming said to Zhou Hao and Zhang Yingpei. He Shuyan followed behind Su Jiaming and also said goodbye to Zhou Hao and Zhang Yingpei. However, when she looked at Zhou Hao felt that her eyes were very complicated. Vaguely, there was also the look of begging when she was pulled away by the robbers. She is asking for help from me? Zhou Hao saw He Shuyan's complicated look and was slightly shocked in his heart. However, He Shuyan's expression was also faintly discernible, which made Zhou Hao not sure. He also did not know why she wanted to ask him for help. He Shuyan gave Zhou Hao a deep look, but in the end, she still turned around and left with Su Jiaming. Looking at He Shuyan's gradually disappearing back, Zhou Hao did not know why, but he felt that her slim and slender back carried a sense of sadness and loneliness, like a bird that was about to be thrown into a cage. She has already left. What are you looking at? Zhang Yingpei suddenly said from the side. Zhou Hao came back to his senses, and Su Jiaming and He Shuyan had already disappeared at the end of the corridor. Zhou Hao turned to look at Zhang Yingpei. Uncle Pei, what are you talking about? Xiao Hao, take care of yourself. Don't create any scandal about the wealthy families. Zhang Yingpei patted Zhou Hao's shoulder. He Shuyan followed Su Jiaming out of the police station and sat in Su Jiaming's Rolls-Royce. He Shuyan sat in the back seat and leaned against the car door on the left. Su Jiaming sat beside him and said to the driver in front of him, Go home? I know, master. The driver in front answered and started the car. Su Jiaming pressed the button on the car beside him. An invisible glass rose between the back seat and the front seat, isolating the front and back seats. He Shuyan seemed to be a little uneasy. She lowered her head slightly and leaned slightly towards the left door. Su Jiaming looked at her from the side and asked gently, Shuyan, are you all right today? Those robbers didn't hurt you, right? He Shuyan shook her head. No, I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, father-in-law. You are my daughter-in-law. It is only right for me to care about you. Su Jiaming smiled and stretched out his hand, wanting to hold He Shuyan's hand. He Shuyan saw his hand reaching towards her and quickly moved to the side. She put her hands on the left knee, deliberately not letting Su Jiaming touch her. She kept her head down and did not speak or look at Su Jiaming. Su Jiaming's hand was halfway there. When he saw He Shuyan's reaction, he stopped moving and only stopped after a while. He sighed slightly and suddenly asked, By the way, how did you and Zhou Hao meet today? And how did he save you? He Shuyan was slightly stunned. She told Su Jiaming about how she met Zhou Hao when she went to the bank to withdraw money today, and then she met that robber who committed the crime and took her as a hostage. He subdued the 5 bandits with his bare hands? Su Jiaming asked in surprise. He Shuyan nodded. I didn't see it clearly at that time either. By the time I reacted, those 5 people had already fallen. Su Jiaming touched his chin and muttered, Then it seems that this Zhou Hao also knows martial arts. However, it was not surprising. The guards around Councilman Zhao were all very skilled. It was said that they were the legendary martial arts masters. Zhou Hao's martial arts might have been learned from those people. Shuiyun, it's a blessing in disguise that you met Zhou Hao today. I also said before that Zhou Hao's godfather, Zhao Rixin, is one of the top figures in the country. Zhao Rixin was born in the military. Currently, many of the generals in the military in the country are his family members or former subordinates. Even his son, Zhao Dingzhou, is the head of the military in Guangzhou. The power and influence of the Zhao family in the country was overwhelming. Hearing Su Jiaming's words and recalling Zhou Hao's figure, He Shuyan was also very surprised in her heart. Even though Zhou Hao had such a deep background, he wasn't like those rich playboys who relied on their power to bully others. Instead, he was easy to get along with and didn't put on any airs. He was even willing to exchange Zhou Hao for her as a hostage in order to save her. As he was thinking, he heard Su Jiaming say, In my opinion, the Xiang Huaqiang of Xian must know about Zhou Hao's background. That's why he didn't avoid arousing suspicion and protecting Zhou Hao. He even went so far as to fall out with our Su family. This Xiang Huaqiang really knows how to judge a person based on the situation. Jin Sheng, that prodigal, he didn't care about anything and fought with him. Fortunately, I reacted in time last time. Otherwise, if he really offended Zhou Hao, we wouldn't have to develop into our own country. When mentioning Su Jinsheng, a few traces of sadness appeared in He Shuyan's eyes. Su Jiaming sighed and said, Although Jinsheng has a lot of women outside, they are just there to celebrate. He is a man, especially when he wants to do business with others and socialize with others. This is also very difficult to avoid. But don't worry, Shuayun. No matter how many women he has outside, you will always be the legitimate wife of Su family. With me around, Jane Sheng won't dare to abandon you. Shuayun gently turned her head to look at the scenery outside that was constantly moving back. It doesn't matter if you abandon me or not. Anyway, he has never treated me as his wife. Soon, Shuayun and Su Jiaming returned to the luxurious villa of Su family in the Great Wave Bay. As soon as they entered the room, Shuayun said to Su Jiaming, "Gong Gong, I'll go back to my room first." After saying that, she hurried up the stairs. Shuayun, Su Jiaming called her twice.